Alrighty, welcome to the Tuesday show. Yeah, air quotes. Obviously, it's Thursday. We're going to be recapping Evo, and we were very tired, so we waited a couple of days. My name's Ultra David.
And I'm James Chen. How's everybody going? Fact, I met some people at Evo this year, and one of them was from Australia. Without saying anything, she walked up to me and was like, "How you going?"
That's funny.
Yeah, and then I said something to her boyfriend, and he just started laughing because he knew exactly what that.
She wasn't joking. That's just like what
that's just what she just said. Yeah, from Australia.
Well,
so
shout
shout outs to them. Validating my bad grammar. So
well, hey, that's fine. Different dialects and so forth. So Steve, I guess, is traveling to DreamHack.
Tasty, right?
Tasty,
yeah,
and then Sajam. I guess, I didn't tell him that we were going to do the show today.
Right.
I thought I did, but my bad. So he's going to be doing stuff with Rip and the like. My B did not intend for that. So,
yes.
Anyway, let's talk about Evolution 2017.
What did you think of it? Overall, arching summary, what did you think of the whole entire thing?
Well, as with last year, I was concerned going into it that it wouldn't feel like Evo to me. That it would feel like some different beast.
Convention.
Well, just a convention,
yeah,
right? Like when you go to, we have been to DreamHack now. When you go to DreamHack, it's not Evo, for sure.
Right.
It's definitely a different kind of event that has fighting games at it, but it's definitely not the same.
Right.
And when you go to South by Southwest, which we also have been to, definitely not at all Evo. Not at all.
Right.
But it has fighting games. I was kind of worried it would begin to feel like one of those, and it did not. It did not. I thought it felt like Evo still. You're right, Siege, TOH says, somebody says that every year. That's true, but it's been in particular, I think, the last 2 years that has been a bigger possibility. Being in the sports stadium at the end and having just a tremendously large hall for the first couple of days. Those are so different than how it used to be that I really felt like it might be different. I don't feel like it was.
Yeah, and what's interesting too, a lot of people are saying last year's Evo was, bad. They weren't ready for that kind of influx of people.
Hard to have predicted that.
And in fact, I still think it's an anomaly from last year. So a lot of people are like, "Aren't you concerned the numbers are so down?" And I think last year was just the Street Fighter V. That kind of hype really just got everybody there. Unfortunately, Street Fighter V was not able to maintain that.
Nope.
So we kind of went back to the regular flow, in my opinion. But
I think you're right.
Last year, look. I say this every year. Every time someone goes to Evo and they're like, "This was terrible, that was terrible," they always address it. And you cannot predict everything that's going to go wrong at these events, right? And so this year, I know a lot of people had complaints about the headsets. I'm sure they'll address that as well. But last year, everyone complained about, why can't my game get enough screen time? It was too crowded in there. They doubled the size of the room. There was space beyond all compare, and every game had their own big screen.
That's true.
So next year, you can imagine they'll try to fix the headset scenario and everything like that.
What I heard was that the venue provided power that was the wrong voltage or something, and that the screwy voltage did something ipso facto. I don't know how electronics work. Something was screwed up.
Right.
I don't know. That's what I've heard. So that definitely sucks. Of course, in some games that really actually matters, right? And unfortunately, it seemed to have happened in games where it mattered more than maybe in some others. So that is a big bummer. But I'm sure that'll be something that they take great pains to avoid in the future.
Right. And so, I'm not too worried about that. But as you mentioned this year, it's weird because we were hanging out a little bit on Thursday. And it's just weird. Even on the day before Evo starts, there's something different in the air.
Yeah.
I retweeted this post that somebody wrote. That he said that he went to his first Evo, and the best line in there was the one that I quoted in my retweet, where he just basically said, he was like, "I checked Reddit a couple of times during the weekend, and he could just see that what people were saying on there was a completely different energy than what he was feeling at the venue."
Interesting.
And he was like, "Man, I might just have to stop reading Reddit as much now, because it just, when you're there, there's this weird kind of holy crap, oh my God," and everybody who's there has an amazing time. You know what I mean? It's just there's a different atmosphere there that I can't describe to people.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I mean, I think that's the feeling that I mean when I say it felt like Evo still. You know, I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, in fact, he's right here in the chat, too.
Oh,
it's
dang,
Arik.
right.
Yeah, that was him right there. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Nate? Yeah, it does feel different. It doesn't feel like any other tournament. Other tournaments are also great. You know, nothing against them, but it doesn't feel the same. There's something kind of like, there's a feeling of expectations, you know? And it's for everybody. It's like, for us, for me at least, I don't know for you, for me it's like, am I going to commentate all right? But for other people it's like, am I going to win Evo or not? And then for almost everybody else it's like, how am I going to do in my pools? Or it's like, you know, is my favorite player going to do well? Or is the merchandise I want to buy going to be there? How's Dragon Ball? Maybe I hope it's going to be fun. Like, there's like all these like, feelings of like expectations. And that's unique to Evo, so I'm really glad that it's still there. And even though it's such a big thing now, and they're in the sports stadium, and all that stuff is new to just the last couple of years, it still feels that way. And I'm really glad for that. I would really miss that feeling otherwise.
And honestly, like, you know, I kept thinking about it that weekend, how everybody, even us, like, we were like, I hope Evo never becomes a convention. You know, we've talked about that.
We have said that.
And it's kind of like that now. And the more people that I talk to at Evo, I'm like, oh, hey, this is your first Evo? They're like, yes. And then I'm like, hey, so what did you enter? They're like, nothing. I don't think I was ready this year. And I was just like...
A lot of people said that. The ratio of spectators to players is really shifting. And
like... To me, I now realize why it's so important that Evo should have become more of a convention even earlier. Because, honestly, it provides, like, they had a chance to play all these different games there. They even had the arcade machines. They could buy stuff. People plan their one vacation of the year to go to Evo. They want to buy T-shirts. They want to buy artwork. They want to buy all these things. And if you don't, I mean, like, it's almost cruel not to let them do that in a weird way.
I don't know if you have watched it, but Born Free has a great set of interviews up on his YouTube channel that I highly recommend in general.
I haven't seen them yet.
Okay, so I've watched a few of them now. One of them was with T. Cannon.
Tom
Cannon.
Pretty sure it was Tom. Yeah.
Period Cannon. Yeah, it was with Tom. No, you're right. And Tom. So basically, Born Free was like, I have been to Evo in the past, but when I was there, like, I wanted to get stuff. I wanted to, like, bring home memorabilia, and it wasn't really there until just the last couple of years. And Tom said much the same that we were just saying, that, you know, it was weird to him at first that people wanted to come and spectate or buy stuff because it was always just a tournament. And, like, why would you come just to watch people? That's weird. Like, this is our mindset coming, for many, many years. And he recognized that there's a lot of people who do want to watch or who will enter but don't feel like they are like a big threat or anything. They're like hoping to prove themselves that they're not going to go 0-2 or whatever it is. But those people are not going to have a long tournament life. Like, they're not going to spend all of Saturday in the tournament, right? Like, there's maybe like an hour that they're in the tournament. Maybe that's maybe not even that much. What are they going to do the rest of the time? And so you have to cater to people, and I think that's the right thing to do. Yeah, I mean, looking back, we were myopic about it. We only viewed the tournament as a tournament. Right. And, Tom was saying, and I think he's right, that needs to be the major focus still. And always should be. But that there are these other sides to it, and that, past us shouldn't be critical of other people who want to enjoy fighting games or the tournament in a different way than like we always had.
I always remember, when we first started streaming, like in 2010 and 2011, there was one point in time, because it was still streaming on like Justin TV or Ustream or whatever it was back then.
Yeah.
And there was this huge thing that Tom was like, the tournament will never stop for the stream.
Right.
I don't care what happens in the stream.
I remember this.
The tournament keeps going. And only just a few years ago, he's like, nope, that's completely
the opposite.
Now the stream is that important, you know. It's the attitudes change and the mindset changes. But, you know, the thing that I kind of want to, you know, talk about is how many people that I talk to, you know, at Evo, they're like, this is my first Evo.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I see somebody at like CEO or at some other event and I talk to them and I'm like, have you ever been to Evo? They're like, no. And my comment to them is like, I don't want to oversell it, but it will change your life, right? Like, I say that. And so everybody at Evo I ran into, I was just like, how are you enjoying Evo? They're like, I love it. Is this your first time? Yes. I'm like, look, I tell people this all the time. I need you guys to be like my movie box quotes, you know? And I was like, I tell people all the time that Evo will change your life. And they're like, yes. They're like, it's been so amazing. Like, I never would have pictured it like this. Like, a lot of the people that I talked to just had no idea that Evo would feel the way it did.
Yeah.
Because when you see it on stream, it just looks like a standard tournament.
Sure.
Just outside here, you got this big stadium at the end. But when you're in that room, when you're in there and there's just so much buzzing going on of just like fighting game activity everywhere, the tension is palpable, as they say.
Indeed.
Yeah.
It was feelable. Yeah, man, I had a really good time. So I showed up on Wednesday with the expectation, with the intention of like partying Wednesday night, you know, because Thursday night I got to go to sleep early because we were commentating Friday morning, and then, you know, I'm just commentating the rest of the weekend, so I'm basically working. I don't want to go nuts. And then I went to sleep at like midnight anyway.
Really? Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I woke up at like 8, you know, and I had breakfast with Jabali, and then I went to go shopping, and then I went to the pool, and I was like such an old man about it. I did work when I was at the pool. So it was very different than before, but still really fun in like an I'm old kind of way. Like not the same as like getting totally bent out of shape and, you know, doing stupid stuff that I definitely used to do, but
AJ says it sounds like his Evo too.
There you go, man.
Shout outs to him. Look at the team. Look what his team accomplished here. Echo
Yes.
Fox, man.
Well, I don't want to spoil anything.
Oh yeah, true. But
They did do well.
I mean, dude, my sleep schedule is so jacked up. But I'll be honest, Evo kind of fixed it a little bit. I'm going to bed at like 3 o'clock now that I'm back. It's amazing.
AM, hopefully.
Yeah,
Okay.
Because
Not a
for a while
vampire.
I was sleeping at like 5, 6. So
Yeah,
when I was
yeah.
at Evo, like literally, I would fall asleep at like 6. Like the
Wow.
day we had to do commentary before Friday, I couldn't fall asleep till like 6 o'clock. So I was literally on like 3 hours of sleep to do commentary. But interestingly enough, the adrenaline just kicked in. And like I never got tired on commentary like the whole day because I was just like so amped.
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, old man good times are pretty great, you know. Younger me would not have liked them. But I guess that's how it goes. Younger me does younger me stuff, and older me does older me stuff.
It's funny because like that's the worst part about it. Because once you get older, you just did Abigail's backdash.
Mm-hmm.
But like once you get older, like and you start doing that thing where you hear the old people look at kids and just be like, man, just wait till you get older or you'll understand. Dude, it's so weird. Like I hate it, but it's so true.
I think it's pretty cool.
Because
I like it. So far, there are some downsides, but in general, it's all right.
One thing I will always say as an old man is that when you're in the 20s, you are indestructible. And once you get to around 40, that's when everything changes and you realize the indestructibility is not there.
Oh man, I've been destructible since I was 21. Physically speaking, I've been destructible and destructed as well.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Evo was all good. And then, let's see. It was awesome to hang out with people. I spent a lot of time commentating Injustice, and so I got to spend a lot of time hanging out with the NRS folks, which was very cool. I got to talk about balance with 16-Bit, who works at NRS, and I told him Firestorm was a weak character. He's bad. And then he was like, nuh-uh, he's high mid. And then he brought in Theo, and Theo was like, probably high mid. And I was like, no! And somebody else was like, Brainiac's terrible. And I was like, I think he's top 10. And then 16-Bit was like, what are you talking about? So, I don't know, man. But anyway, it was a lot of fun hanging out with people. And then on Sunday, I got there bright and early, 7:45. It was tough times, even though I had gone to sleep at a reasonable hour, still tough. And just, you know, watched with Tubaware and some of his friends, Mike and Julian and so forth. And we basically sat there for the whole day.
Yeah.
You know, there were $5 wines. Beers were $8.50, but wines, I don't know. Wine was $5 for like a full glass of wine, so that's where I went.
Good, yeah. I mean, look,
economical.
The funny thing is, like, Evo, I tweeted about this, and the hardest part about Evo, honestly, is I just don't feel like I get to talk to anybody as long as I want to. You know, there's only a few moments where I actually get to sit down and talk with people, and this includes people I don't know. Like, a lot of people are like, hey, James, and I'm like, I look like I'm in a hurry, and I've got to, like, shuffle along, and I feel bad about that because I want to know their story on how they're at Evo and all these things like that. And then there are my good friends who I don't get to see, and I missed so many of them. They were like, hey, we're hanging out over here, and I'm like, I can't hang out. In fact, after we commentated together, I don't know if I saw you for the rest of the weekend.
I think I didn't see you at all the whole rest of the weekend.
Yeah,
after Friday at like noon. I think that was it. I don't think I saw you at all.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it goes. Yeah, that's true. It's like an insight into how it is for everybody else.
It's crazy there, but you know, and that's probably one of the area that sucks the most because I really want to talk with people and hang out with people, and I can only pick and choose certain people, and I hate feeling like I'm prioritizing certain people over others. But
I'm totally with you. On Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday day, I was all about meeting as many people as I could. And then Sunday night at the after party, I came in a hoodie, and it was like a hoodie and shorts.
Wait, you're talking about
and I had glasses on.
At the lights?
Yeah, light.
You were there?
Yes.
Did you even see me at all there?
No, but
Okay. Because I was there for a small chunk of time.
I was there for like a couple hours probably.
Yeah.
And I was just like hanging out with like Ski Sonic and Tubaware and like a couple other dudes.
I saw Ski Sonic there. I definitely saw him there. So
I tried saying hello to Fish Sticks, Ben Fish Sticks. He was walking by. I was like, "Hey, buddy," and he just barreled right on by. And then I saw Gutex, and I came up to him, and he's like in his fancy suit from ESPN, And I walked up to him like a total schlub, and I was like, "Hey, dude, how you guys?" I tried to give him a hug, and he was like, "That first." Hey, how's it going? Took a little while, so I thought that was really funny.
That's awesome.
But it was also nice to just like hang out with some dudes who I'm friends with. I mean, I met some people there too, which was great. But it was cool to just be like in the crowd. It's cool.
Right. But yeah, no, it's a fun event. It's tough to see everybody there, but again, if you make it to Evo one day, and I had so many people tweet me, they're like, I saw James Chen, but I was scared to go up and talk to him, and I'm like, dude, just come up and talk to me. And even at like the after party, there was one guy I talked to who was blisteringly drunk and was really, really hoping that I would, have a fun night. No, it wasn't you. It was at the bar fight. This is at the bar fight.
Oh, okay.
Eventually, he messaged me. He's like, "I'm really sorry. My friends told me the stuff that I was saying."
That's very funny.
Yeah, but it was really, really cool. It was really cool. So.
It was all good, man. Had a great time. So, anything else to say about Evo as a general event? It was on ESPN. It was on TV and stuff. I haven't gotten the chance to see any of the actual TV footage.
Disney as well, yeah.
Disney as well.
I've DVR'd it, but I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it yet either.
I did want to say I really liked what they did for the top 8 finals of having commentator pairs separate for the stream and then for the in-house. I thought that was really, really good. For the stream, you did the stream, Street Fighter. I did stream for Injustice. And it was nice to not have to do like the "hey crowd, get wild" thing. Because on the one hand, for stream, it's weird because we're not in the crowd doing that. For Injustice, we were behind a big curtain.
Behind the curtain, right?
And then for you and Street Fighter, you're up at the way top.
Yeah.
So it's you don't really get the feedback anyway. And then people on the stream would not be able to hear the crowd's response anyway. So anyway, I said anyway probably 6 times already.
That's fine.
Anyway, and then the people who are doing the actual crowd can really rile them up.
Right.
And,
yes.
And then there's different takes on it. Like Ketchup and Mustard basically did commentary.
Right.
Normal commentary. And for some of the other people, it was just
hype up.
Yeah, hyping up,
Dude, Tasty Steve and Rip were awesome on Tekken. Favorite line of the weekend was Tasty Steve saying that was a GameStop trade.
I knew exactly what you were going to say. Yeah. It was great. Do you know if that's a line he came up with, or is that an old St. Louis line?
I have no idea.
I feel like that's an old St. Louis.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
That's just, like whenever sometimes when he comes up with things like that, I'm like, that's genius. And he's like, people have been saying it in St. Louis for 20 years. So I'm like, okay, I didn't know. But yeah, I really like that separation. I hope that that's something. I mean, it's tough to do because it means you got to get more commentators out there. It's more expensive and yada yada. But I really like the idea of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with it too. I agree with that too. I think it worked out really well. So
cool, man.
All right. Well, let's talk about a little bit of the results and stuff. So
let's do it.
Some people are saying that they've heard Melee people say that.
Say what?
Before the GameStop trade, maybe.
Oh, have they?
Know.
Oh, Smash.
Yeah. So maybe.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Okay. They came up with GameStop trade and Thinkums. How about that?
And Guessies.
And Guessies. All real terms. Let's talk about the results in the orders that they happened.
Sure.
So let's go over King of Fighters 14, which was on Friday.
Someone asked us what our favorite low-key moment of EVO 2017
low-key,
was.
huh? Oh, I'll tell you mine. No, it's not gross.
I know, but still, I'm wondering what yours is. Because the way you said it, I wonder if it's the same as mine. But go ahead.
Okay, fine.
Uh-huh.
It was the end of Marvel 3.
Oh, okay.
And I was hanging out with Tubaware, Eli the Curry, Prague, Julian, maybe somebody else. In any case, like a bunch of Marvel heads. And they were tearing up. You know? And I totally get that feeling. I'm going to really miss that game too. I've come to really enjoy it.
Yeah.
There were definitely a couple of years where I thought it sucked, but I was wrong about that. And the game, players really, really developed it. I know that feeling sucks because I remember the last year Third Strike was there. I remember when ST was gone as a major one of the main lineup games. I remember that stuff, and it sucked, and I, you know, tough feeling.
Right.
Like knowing that if you're gonna ever see the game again, it's in some side tournament, and nobody's gonna be up to where they are right now. This is the height of the game. It's never gonna be there again, competitive play wise, and it's a sweet moment in the sense that like for a lot of them, what they wanted to happen did happen, which was that there was not a repeat champion. I think Eli did want Chris to win, so that there would be a repeat champion, and like the conversation would be like, it's done. Chris G was the best in Marvel 3.
Right.
But the other guys wanted there to always be a debate, and it's probably Chris anyway, because like he was so consistent throughout the game's whole life. But he didn't have the double Evo championship. Instead, it's every year was just somebody else. So there's a debate, yada yada.
And it's always, but
that's sweet, but then it's bitter because you're gonna miss it.
Right. I mean, interesting enough, Chris G, what he was able to do though was also match KBR. Because remember, KBR won, then made it to grand finals. And then Chris won it that year, and then Chris made it to grand finals.
Definitely. Didn't Justin make it to grand finals and then win the next year?
Yeah, I think so. He lost the Flocker, and then he beat. Justin had his tremendous run in which he lost. One of the first years that I cried really, really badly. But you know, and then he won it the next year. So
yeah, man. So anyway, that was probably my favorite. Was just like hanging out with my friends while they're like kind of tearing up, and I'm like, oh, you know, I understand and. Just like one of those human moments, man.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite low-key moment is probably Unknown. But, no, people probably know what I'm talking about. No, actually, honestly, my favorite low-key moment was a sweet memory as well, and it was the Hawaii suite. I actually went to the Hawaii suite at one point in time.
Hawaii? Like players?
Yeah, players from Hawaii, and one of the guys there that I hung out in Hawaii before when I went there basically just got a suite. A whole bunch of people were there. I saw a whole bunch of random people there. I actually got to sit down and talk for a little while with a bunch of people there and just to hang out and chill and relax and hang out with some friends and everything like that. But speaking of the Unknown moment I was talking about, though, did you not see the video that Z recorded from Bar Fights?
Negative.
No, You Cannot Part 2.
Nope.
Oh man. Okay, we need to get that. You need to see that at some point in time.
Although that kind of makes sense now. When I saw him at the after party, again he didn't recognize me, but I was like, hey, and he recognized me finally. He was like, hey, thanks David for like not bringing up the thing, and I was like, what are you talking about? But that's probably what he was talking about, I guess. I don't know. I haven't seen what you're talking about.
Yo, okay. That's funny. That's funny. Okay, anyways, let's get to some results, shall we? Let's do this.
King of Fighters, 14. 7th places were Arcade Shock Reynolds. Yeah. 7th place is pretty good, but
yeah, I know.
There were a lot of hopes riding on that man. Sanwa M Dash was 2nd place. Then GCCM PK White Ash, 5th place. 5th place also TC Paco. 4th place Huomao ZJZ. Then 3rd was KCO Luis Cha. Sweet.
Yes,
that's cool.
Great job to
That's
Luis
cool.
Cha. Yeah.
2nd place Kanba Doyu Shaohai. 2nd place. Reminder, not 1st place.
Yes.
2nd place Shaohai. Winner Huomao DBJ ET.
From Taiwan. Taiwan's first major win.
With, at the end there, Clark, Benimaru, Daimon. Daimon, of course, getting the final N. Man, that was a sick last round.
Oh, man. It's funny because, like, going into this, remember we were talking about it last week, how this could be the most volatile Evo ever, and I feel like there was only, like, 1 or 2 people who were expected to win that actually won.
Right.
But outside of that, it was pretty crazy. It was pretty volatile at this point in time. But it's funny because I was talking to Sanchez, I believe it was on Saturday night, I think it was. There was a whole bunch of us in the food court. We were just all eating there really late. And Sanchez, he's like, chalk this up to another tournament that I helped affect. And
That's true.
And I was like, really? What did you do? And basically he described how Xiaohai basically plays by saving his meter, and one touch kills everybody. And when he was going up against ET is known for using, was it Ralph or Clark? I can't remember. Clark. But he wasn't using him up to that point.
That's true.
And then so in the last game, after he was up 2-0, and then Xiaohai tied it up 2-2, he had one game, and everyone in the audience, Sanchez in particular, was yelling Clark as loud as possible. That is true.
So, like, after I finished commentary, I went over to watch KOF, and I only got there for the grand finals. And I sat right up front, and there was like Sammy Fish and Sanchez and Hawketh and I don't know, like a couple other dudes. Black Rose, a few others were up there. And yeah, sure enough, while ET was trying to decide what to do, one of those jerks started up the Clark chant.
Right.
I don't remember which one it was. And then they all started doing it, and yeah, sure enough, he picked Clark. I don't know that like really made a difference.
So what Sanchez actually said was, because Xiaohai has that strategy that he saves the meter to kill off your character, ET's team now had 2 meat shields that he couldn't kill off right away, and it messed up Xiaohai's meter usage to the point where that he was able to take it in the end.
Okay, I mean, he still got like counter and supered into, you know.
Right.
Still like a lot of work going on for Goro over there, but it was really good. I didn't get to see all the top 8. I was there for the grand finals, and it was a very good grand finals.
Yeah. I didn't get to see a lot of it, unfortunately, live. I was out grabbing food because I hadn't eaten all day.
Me neither, but I figured it's just grand finals. I can hang out. This year I actually got to see almost every top 8.
Really?
Almost.
I'm so jealous.
Almost, yeah.
I'm so jealous.
There's one I'm missing.
Cool.
We'll go over it in just a little bit.
Okay.
So yeah, man, KOF was sick. It was a really good top 8. I'm really glad for that game that it had a good top 8. I hope that convinces people to pick the game up because it was a lot of fun, clearly. When I was saying before Evo that I didn't think that it deserved to be there because it did not have the entrance numbers, that's not at all an indictment of the game as being fun, or that it wouldn't have a cool top 8 and a good grand finals. Like, all the games had good top 8s. They always do. It's very rare that one has like a boring.
Some way, it's always crazy like that.
It's really rare to have
last
a boring
year
top
when
8.
Sonic Fox wins, he has to take off the hood, right?
Yes.
I mean, like, there's something that happens.
It always happens. So, nothing against the game. I'm really glad that the game showed that it is fun, and hopefully people try it out.
Yeah, and again, shout outs to Team Taiwan. Speaking of, just as a little side thing, there's so many little side stories and side little moments. But you just see the honeymoon photos for GamerB on the Evo stage.
No.
So I think it was like Saturday morning or Friday morning before they opened up the doors. GamerB, and I guess they're married now, and his wife, Juliana, basically stood in their tuxedo and wedding dress on the Evo stage, and Tempest Rob took photos of them there.
Wow.
Like the big Evo background. It was That's
pretty cool.
It was really, really cool. So yeah.
Oh yeah. A grappler won Evo. Well, that's SNK makes good grapplers.
Yeah.
They always
that's
have.
True. It's true.
Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2. This is the top 8 I didn't see.
Oh, really?
Because it was in the middle of
Injustice
Injustice
right?
stuff. It was like Injustice pool,
Yeah.
top 32 or something like that. So anyway, 7th place.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go for it. You wanna? Did you wanna
no,
do
go
it?
ahead. Go ahead.
310 Venom. Or 310.
Apparently Sato, because 310 is a pun of the word Sato.
Okay.
Yeah, so apparently it's Sato Venom. Yeah.
Got it. Teresa with Jam, 7th place also. 5th place is GGP Kazunoko Raven and Pure with Jacko. 4th place Nage with Faust. 3rd place Samito Chip. 2nd place R Kappa T5M7.
Tomo, basically.
Oh, that makes more sense.
With
Okay.
Leo, yeah.
I've heard that name.
Uh-huh.
With Leo. Then 1st place KVO Cross TSB Omito with Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, shout outs to Ryan Hunter, because when we were doing semifinals commentary, he was like, my pick is Omito. Omito's winning. And I'm
Sick.
like, but Machibo, he's like, yeah, but Machibo's in losers, and then Kid Viper eliminated him.
Yeah, he did.
Kid Viper beat last year's champion. But
Correct.
the worst part about that, when you do that, then you're just like, I beat last year's champion. This is the pressure. And then he lost, and he did not make it to top 8. And despite the fact that no Americans made top 8 this year.
Yeah.
Right. It's first year in 3 years that they did not do that. Last year was Marlon Pie. Year before that was Zidane. However, last year had 5 U.S. players in top 32, I believe it was, and this year there were 9. And they were definitely making some key eliminations and key wins. So shout-outs to the U.S. team. The top 8 is not an indication. And even the Arxis guys, when they at their booth, they were interviewing some of the Japanese players over there, and the Japanese players were even like, I don't even feel like there's much of a gap at all anymore.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah, so there you go. But yeah, Bears was super close to making top 8. But man,
9th place.
Omito, like that guy is just magic with Johnny. It's just like every hit he had, he knew the exact conversion to do and to lead to the combo. And that's like where a lot of my fandom of Guilty Gear comes from, is that it is one of the most creative games, thanks to Roman cancels and thanks to the game system, is that you could just do stuff and like figure out a way to make it work because you know your character so well. But yeah, Omito is amazing. Dude, what? So I didn't watch the whole thing. I unfortunately missed grand finals. Because I had to start commentary for Street Fighter at that moment.
Commentary
so I was
life.
like, no! But I watched the rest of it in the beginning, and man, I can see why so many people hate Jacko. Because every time Pure got someone in the corner with like level 3 amped up minions, and they just have him in the corner, it's like it's so painful. So, but yeah, it was a good top 8. It was a good top 8, but yeah, shout outs to Omito, finishing second last year, taking it first this year. So good job to him. But seriously, honestly, like there was just some points in times where it just didn't look like he could lose. Like it just
I
looked
heard
like
that. I heard all the matches were blow ups.
Yeah.
I was talking with somebody about it. I guess it was Raph, who said that every match was a blow up in favor of whoever won it. Like nothing was close.
There was a few close stuff. I think I kind of remember, at least in semis.
I didn't see it.
But like, dude, Omito, because there was definitely a lot of rounds where Omito would just be drained down to nothing left, and the other guy had this life, and you're just like, okay, time to move to the next round, and then just Omito would just pull off the stupidest comeback. In fact, I remember one of them, it happened, I can't remember against who, but it happened in top 8, because I immediately just tweeted out, Omito, because it was the most ridiculous thing. So, yeah, so there was definitely some close matches, but probably the result was like 3-1. So it looked like it was kind of 3-0, but there was some close rounds, kind of things like that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, anything else to say about the Guilty Gear?
It's a good game.
Yeah.
Play it, and it's good stuff. So.
Alrighty. Then top 8 for Injustice happened just a little bit after that. 7th place was Nasser Tekken Master with Black Adam, Atrocitus, and Brainiac. 7th also was T7G DR Gross with Green Lantern and one Black Adam that got lit up, and it was not useful. 5th place, Echo Fox Sonic Fox. What? With Red Hood and like one game of Black Adam that also got blown up. 5th place, PG Hayate with Robin and Batman. 4th place, Noble Samij with Catwoman. 3rd place, Equifox Theo with the Superman. 2nd place, CR Honeybee with the Flash. 2nd place, he played Aquaman like 2 times, and I think lost with him. Winner was Noble Dragon.
Yep.
With mostly Aquaman and a couple of Poison Ivies.
Yeah, what I had heard, though, is that that top 8 is pretty well-established top 8 for NRS games.
Oh, there's no randos in there.
And so outside, like, someone said that Samij might be the only person who kind of counted as a surprise, but he's always been good, right? So
last year or so, he's been strong. Okay, yeah, I mean, he's not always been a top player, but he certainly is now, and he was winning a lot of the stuff that led up to this in online tournaments.
When he was playing against Theo, that was a tough one for me. It was like the Catwoman versus the SoCal.
Right, Theo from SoCal, for sure. Playing the world's most annoying Superman. The lamest, the most annoying Superman. But no, man, I'm super happy with how the top 8 went. You got a lot of regional variety in there. You got Bahrain, you got Canada, you got a couple of Canadas, you got Dominican Republic in there, you got Southern California, you got 2 people from Delaware. That's, I don't know. Sonic Fox and Dragon are both from Delaware for some reason.
Right.
But yeah, it was just really good in terms of variety that way. The character variety was great. I just mentioned a ton of different characters. The Black Adams got lit up. They were like not relevant.
That's what you said last week.
What? It's almost like it's a continuing trend that was easily predictable. Okay. And then, there's like a bunch of interesting character mains who did well. 2nd place was Flash. Honeybee even said earlier in the day that he was like, he didn't believe that he would do well. And somebody said, like, what if you win Evo with Flash? Then you'll have to admit he's a good character. And then he was like, yeah, I guess. That's a downside, I guess. He was like, yeah, I guess I'd have to admit it. But he got 2nd place, so there's at least a little bit that he can say. The Flash, Superman, Catwoman, Robin, and like 2 games of Batman or something for Hayate. Almost exclusively Red Hood for Sonic Fox. Mostly Green Lantern for Gross. Mostly Atrocitus, a little bit of Atom, and like 1 of Brainiac or Tekken Master.
Right.
That's a lot of different almost mains doing well.
Right.
In this game, so I'm really happy with that, and it was a lot of fun to watch. And Dragon was definitely the best, but it was, Sonic Fox made it to top 8 winners without having lost a single game.
Oh, he was one of those. Okay,
lost any games,
right?
And then he went 0-2 in top 8. Crazy. So it's, having like a new champion and a bunch of different variety, and I thought the game looked fun. And you got your annoying characters, lame characters up there, Superman and Aquaman, but everybody else is cool. And that's good to have variety.
I'm curious, like, what's the reaction been from the NRS community with regards to Aquaman? Are a lot of people, like, poo-pooing Aquaman or anything like that right now? Or...
Yeah, I would say that's true, but they were saying it beforehand, too.
Okay.
So not much difference on that front. There are some people who have said things like that Dragon won in part because of Aquaman being the best. Maybe he is the best. I don't know. He's certainly one of them. But Dragon has been a top player for the last 2 years.
Exactly.
He won with a bunch of different characters in MK, and he made it to top 8 with some Poison Ivy too, and she's probably bad.
Well, shout outs to Dragon, because he's one of those guys who's not afraid to use top tier. And I like
pick the good stuff, man. Don't be abashed about it.
So, yeah.
Illusions was just outside top 8 with Green Arrow mostly. Nubcakes from SoCal and Slayer originally from SoCal. We're both just outside top 8 in 9th place.
Dude, so Cool Gray AJ says that Sonic Fox was fighting food poisoning all weekend long.
Ah, that is true. Yeah, he had food poisoning.
He said that he almost took him to the hospital at some point in time.
Right,
so.
that is true. Yeah, he had a tough first couple of days. Mm-hmm. I talked with him before top 8, and he said that he was feeling better. Not 100%, but better. Mm-hmm. And, he's an upstanding young man, and he was like, I'm not going to make any excuses.
Right.
So,
and even when he lost, he was, like, congratulating everybody and stuff. But did you see his tweet? He said, I lost my first Evo. How many people can actually tweet that? And he's been going for, 4 years, right? He's like, I lost my first Evo.
Nobody can say that.
Jesus. Man.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I feel like maybe like
Justin at one point for
Justin
MVC2.
at one point.
But he lost
Snake
other
Eyes.
tournaments, though. That's the thing, right?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he didn't win every single game. Just,
Right, just MVC2.
Snake Eyes entered HDR and won the first tournament he ever entered at Evo. So I guess you could say it like the year after that. But anyway, very rare, and certainly not like 4 years in a row or whatever nonsense he did. Including even like he won MK9 when it was just there as a side tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
so
he's a very
that guy's
talented player.
crazy. That guy's crazy. But shout outs to Sonic Fox for sure. But no,
Very happy with the top 8. I thought it went great.
Yeah, exactly. Really happy with the character variety and everything. And I'm going to have to go back and watch a bunch of Samiji's matches.
Yes.
Because he was doing some sick stuff with Catwoman.
He's got good fundamentals, and she has really good fundamentals.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Awesome to see. Play characters you think are fun, and don't necessarily pick Black Adam, because he got busted. Super Smash Bros. Melee, which I also saw quite a bit of, although not... No, I did see the end, but not a little bit in between. Anyway, 7th place, MSF The Moon with Marth, and CLG SFAT with Fox. 5th place, PG Plup with Sheik and Fox. 5th place, Lucky with Fox. 4th place, MGV Equifox Mewtwo King with Marth, Sheik, and Fox. 3rd place, Liquid Hungry Box with Jigglypuff. 2nd place,
Champion.
C9 Mango with Fox and Falco. Winner, Alliance Armada? Is that right?
Yeah.
Right?
Pretty sure. Yeah.
I mean, they just read it as A, you know, with the brackets.
Oh,
I don't know.
right.
I think it's
yeah,
Alliance.
okay.
With Peach. He didn't play any Fox and stuff?
No, he played
Was only
only
Peach?
Peach.
Damn, I just
And a lot
assumed.
of people, a lot of people made a big deal out of that.
Okay, sick.
But I mean, look, Melee's super hype. This one went, though, I think a little unfortunately, pretty much how everyone would have expected it. In that the top 4 were the 4 gods that were there.
Yes.
You know. However, you know, having the grand finals come down to being Mango and Armada yet again. Especially with Mango trying his best to defend it, because that's his one claim to being stronger player than Armada, is that Mango has 2 Evos and Armada had 1, which is why Armada was so blown up last year. You know, how you could see it, like he didn't want to walk off the stage. Chris Lee had to help him off and everything like that last year. But now Armada got it. And I don't think that there's any question anymore that Armada is probably the GOAT right now.
The GOAT.
I think that was a pretty big win for Armada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People say that he didn't play Hungry Box, which is why he didn't play Fox. I didn't realize it was only for H-Box that he did not. That he played
really?
Fox.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Dude, you can't be a baby when you lose a match like that and don't want to leave the stage and don't want to get...
That's not being a baby.
Yeah, dude, I can't even explain
the feeling.
to you.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Do you know the feelings of being... No. But you got to think that, like, that's one of those, like, almost unique feelings.
Yeah, I think the closest thing is when Street Fighter 3 first came out. And I went to the Golfland tournament. It was like the first Street Fighter 3 tournament. And I got to Grand Finals versus Alex Phi, and he blew me up with one button. He just did Ryu stand roundhouse until I died.
No.
I could not fight it. It was... Yeah, that one, that sucked.
Oh,
but
man.
That's still like...
The soul still burns.
How many people know that? Nobody saw that. Nobody remembers that.
10 people were there.
People probably think I'm making that up right now, right? Like, having that happen to Armada in front of everybody with GOAT on the line,
right.
You know, that's a whole different story, though.
That is a singular thing.
Yeah, look, I am not even joking. He just hit heavy kick until I died. Like, literally, because you know what? This is what Vi does, and this is why he's a jerk and a great player. He'll hit this button, he's like, James doesn't know how to deal with this.
Yeah.
He figures out how to deal with it. Well, he never did. Okay, the end, and that was...
It was Ryu roundhouse?
Yeah.
Ryu
the one where he, like,
roundhouse.
swung the roundhouse. And see, back then, I didn't know how to whiff punish anything. Like, whiff punishing wasn't really a thing, because, you know, we're coming from games where whiff
He wasn't
punishing
just mashing it, was he?
He practically was. I mean, he was just like, walk forward, roundhouse, walk back, roundhouse, walk forward, roundhouse, roundhouse. I just, like, I couldn't hit it when that was...
That is hilarious.
Stop making me relive this.
Bummer.
Anyway, continue.
Okay, you got it. Anyway, I watched, I think, everything except for when Hungrybox lost, because I was walking to the room, and then I watched Grand Finals when I was falling asleep, because it was super late.
Right.
It happened really late.
Oh, yeah, that one.
And I needed to wake up for, you know, like 7 in the morning to get to Marvel on time, so I needed to go to sleep. Anyway, it was sick. It was a good tournament as always.
Yeah. good stuff to Melee. And yeah, I mean, I know that they're going to be sad that they weren't on Sunday, but
Yeah.
you know, they got to give a chance to every game, you know, especially because Smash Wii U always has more entrants. So, you know,
that's
why not?
true.
Why not? So.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, it was good to watch. It was good to watch. Okay. Super
Now,
Smash Bros.
I went to sleep late because I went to bar fights after that. In fact, I didn't even mean to. In fact, nobody knows this, but like I walked into the little convenience store right next to the elevators, and I was like, I really just want to eat something cold because it's really hot right now. So I bought an ice cream bar.
Okay.
And then a whole bunch of people were like, James, come to bar fights. And I was like, I really want to go to sleep. They're like, just stop by for a little bit. All right.
Yeah.
So I went there to go make my rounds. I had a shirt with me. I had my East Coast Throwdown shirt that someone gave me. So I just wrapped my ice cream in that.
Okay.
And walked in there. And I was there for a good hour and a half
Wow.
or whatever, talking to people. I watched the whole 5v5 between Resident Evil Fights and NLPC going on
that's
there.
right.
And shout outs to, because look, when I first got there, Arturo was like, yo, Idom's blowing everybody. He's beating everybody so far. I was like, I'm not surprised. Like, I thought that East Coast would win. Dude, he had beaten one guy. And the match that we were watching was against Alex Myers, and Alex Myers beat Idom. So Idom was literally 1-1 in that tournament. And Arturo was telling me he was beat. He was like, he's on like a 3-game win streak or whatever. I was like, what? Are you lying to me like this? But I watched that whole thing.
Tisk.
Shout outs to SD Pinoy. Because that guy bodied everybody. And I think Kami, I love Kami to death. He's going to have nightmares about SD Pinoy for the rest of his life.
Yes.
I don't know if you got to watch any
I
of
saw
it.
only the GIF
Of him
of
teleporting?
him dashing through Super.
Yeah.
Now, as a professional Bison main myself, I've known about that since week 1.
Right.
Well, I mean, I did, but anyway, it was super sick.
Yeah.
Man, SD, were we having this conversation? I feel like it was with you, where I said that I think he's one of the best players, and you were like, one of the best Bisons, right? And I was like, one of the best in the U.S.
Yep.
I think he's one of the best right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he did really well in the tournament, too, actually.
Yeah, he got like 16th or something, or somewhere up there. He was
Somewhere up
really
there.
close up there, but yeah, I was there hanging out for a little while, and I made my rounds, talked to a whole bunch of people.
Nice.
So I was actually glad I went to that. That was actually one of the times I got to see a bunch of people, including the guy who said some questionable things to me, who apologized to me later on in DMs. But I was like, okay, finally left after the 5v5 was done. Went upstairs. I had one of those ice cream bars, and sure enough, I opened it up and bit into it, and it's just like the whole thing just like poured out, and I was like, well, so much for having something cold. I got to sleep late. I woke up in time for Marvel, grabbed my iPad, put it down. And was like,
to
I'm gonna
watch on stream.
Marvel. I think I watched the first match and the very end of the last match.
No.
I'm not gonna lie, I fell asleep all the way in the middle. I couldn't do it.
Wow.
It was so bad.
Wow.
I need to go back and watch it.
Yes.
Because it's the last one. I need to go back and watch it.
It was good, too. It was really good.
Yeah.
It was definitely like endgame stuff. So, you want to talk about it now?
Yes.
Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. 7th place, No Life. With 0 Dante Virgil. 7th place also Mischief, Not Enough Damage. 0 Dr. Doom Virgil. 5th place, Prodigy, Magneto, Dr. Doom, and Phoenix. 5th place also Joey D, who made winners semis. Even the Midwest dudes I was hanging out with were like,
Really?
No, it's
Okay.
0 Virgil Doom. 4th place, Paradigm, Haggard, Dormammu, Doom.
Outs the Paradigm.
Definitely.
One of the more underrated guys.
Agreed.
So,
He
yeah.
made top 8 2 or 3 times. I think it's something like that. Also, Haggard, Rocket Raccoon, Arthur, and Haggard, Rocket Raccoon, Doom. 3rd place, PC Marvel God, Quackbot.
Okay.
Also, Quackbot was a player from the Las Vegas scene, who then moved to Canada. Magneto, Dr. Doom, Phoenix. 2nd place, EG, NY, Chris G, Morgan, Doom, Virgil. Winner, Splice, Ryan LV, with Chun-Li, Morgan, and Phoenix.
Hometown winner.
Yes. He, as we were saying before, his win meant that nobody won Marvel 3 twice at EVO. There was a different person every year, and a different point character every year.
That's right.
Fact.
And after he won and got his trophy, I think Ryan LV actually smiled like once or twice.
He's got a good poker
face. The most amazing emotions that I've seen from him. You know, you can see how emotional everyone gets when they win because he smiled. No, but I mean, he almost made it look pedestrian. Like you said, until grand finals, he didn't lose a single game, right?
Yeah, he was 27-2 in games. What?
Because it's 3 out of 5 the whole way too, right? So, oh my god!
I mean, it was incredible. So
yeah,
he blew everybody up. Chris G, he almost blew Chris G up. By the way, he almost 3-0'd Chris, and Chris happened to make a sweet comeback. And then he was like, oh yeah, all right, I'm playing the game now. And he won the next one pretty convincingly. And then the last one was Ryan.
Yep. So shout outs to him. And I love the fact that it ended with no... I'm a fan that it didn't end with a repeat.
Same.
So, like, I think that... Because that keeps the fuel... Like, if Chris had won again, I think everyone might have been like...
That's it.
We're done. Let's close the door. Let's move on. But a lot of people still love this game. In fact, Snake Tits is still even running this, like, Pasadena... majors that he runs. He ran it in his house before. It's like this high stakes thing. I don't know if he's doing it in his house again.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but like shout outs to them. They're going to keep going with that Marvel. So.
Yeah, the Marvel series. I forget what the name of it is.
Curly Circuit.
Yes. That continues.
Yes.
But yeah, it was cool with players too. Like Quackbot. I mean, his Magneto was ridiculous. His movement is crazy. I haven't seen that guy play in probably years. And he said after he's just been playing online.
That's crazy.
Marvel 3 online. But, man, he looked super good.
Does that even work?
Joey D basically ran into Larry 3 times against Paradigm. He just, like, air dash 0 into Larry, like, 3 times. I don't know. Whatever. But, yeah, it was sick for Prodigy, No Life, guys who have had, like, more and more success as the game has gone on. But that definitely more like the latter portion of the Marvel 3 lifespan. Terry Bogard just outside, Priest, who's same kind of thing, like ton of success lately.
Ray
just
Ray
outside.
Was right out there
Ray.
Too. Yeah.
Oh man, did you see Ray lose? Who's it to now? Now I gotta look it up. This is gonna bug me. So he lost, to get into top 8. I think it might have been against Quackbot. Let me see.
Trying to see if the chat says anything here. After the 30-second delay, people say Quackbot.
I think that's what it was, but I'm just checking.
They say it was to Quackbot.
Okay.
He did lose to Quackbot, so.
Yes, he did. He was out of the chair before they could show him on screen. Like, Quackbot won, then, like normal speed of transition to, like, here's the players, right? Already gone.
Ray
like,
was just
it
gone.
was like a second later. Like, literally 1 second.
Snap back! Quackbot literally snapped. He physically snap backed him in that match.
I mean, it was crazy, the speed. Like, and I talked with people who were there later, and they were just like, yeah, he just... It's not like he just left and his stick was there. He pulled out his stick and he was off the thing and just absurd fast motion.
Oh man, poor guy.
So he was obviously very upset. But like I said, Quackbot played super well. Like he was not gimmicking people out. He plays a funky style, but it's not like some wild whatever, anything goes. I just happen to guess right a million times.
Yeah, look,
great movement, great control.
People who, I know some people are just trolling or whatever like that, but anyone who ever says anything negative about anyone getting emotional over a video game, like it's unjustified.
Yeah, shut up, everybody.
Yeah, pretty much. Suck my nuts, asshole.
Excellent. Audio. Right. Finally, audio. Spatbobin says Ray knew the Kubota escape. That's funny. That's a reference people won't get next year when that game is dead.
All right.
Anyway, too bad, but a lot of fun, and I mean, you can see in the characters, like it was definitely like a end game Marvel, and Eli the Curry and Prague and Tuba kept talking about that. Like, man, this game is like, this is what we had thought it would be for like a while, and now it's here. Morgan, zeros everywhere, Virgil's everywhere.
Right.
All right, cool. It was fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
Then we have after that Blazblue Central Fiction.
And again, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't get to see much of this one.
I watched it.
So, but again, I heard it was just like the most amazing top 8. I did get to see a lot of grand finals because I got to the stadium at around that time.
It was a good one. Mount Takao with Rachel, 7th place. 7th place also Dora Bang with mostly Moo and a little bit of Bang.
Okay.
5th place Tochigin with Azriel. 5th place also Tokyo Verity Soji with Arakune. 4th place IGS. The name Arakune just looks so obviously like a transliteration error.
Really?
Ever since that game came out, I've always just wondered, like, if you could ask them, did they mean his name to be Arachne, but then, like, some weird transliteration happened, and now it's Arakune? I don't know.
Huh. Interesting.
Ever since that game launched, I used to grind Blazblue in the 08.
Right, I remember, but that's interesting. I never thought of that. That's interesting. Okay.
Anyway, it was cool. 4th place, IGS Kaibutsu-kun with Izanami and 9. Was it Izanami? I thought it was... Oh, anyway. 3rd place, Fumi with 9. 2nd place, Fenrich with Jin. Winner, Ryusei with Carl.
Right. Who almost... He was coming from loser's bracket, right? Or was it the Jin... No, the Jin... Fenrich...
I believe
Fenrich was coming from losers. He reset it and then almost won it, but then Ryusei recovered and was able to take it. So.
Correct. Yeah, dude, I thought it was actually really fun to watch.
Yeah, someone's actually saying that, yeah, his name is supposed to be Arachne, but... Yeah. You know what? That makes sense, actually, because the one U, if it's one U, you don't really pronounce
That's what I'm saying.
Right? That's why when you see, like, Tatsumaki, it's Tatsumaki.
Right.
Tatsumaki, right? And so then it'd be Arachne.
Right.
Arachne.
But in the game itself, it announced him as Arakune.
Yeah.
And it was very long on the U,
Right,
Arakune.
And the only reason why you pronounce Senpu with the U in Tatsumaki Senpu Kaku is because there's 2 U's. Like, it's kind of the way that it's put out like that, so. But yeah.
So yeah, anyway. Yeah, it was cool, dude. A lot of fun to watch. Blazblue has gotten wild. Oh, it's always been wild. Always been wild.
Gotten wild?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're totally right. But, I haven't played the last couple of versions of it, and I didn't really know what, like, 9 does, you know? Like, they changed Arcanine wildly every one. And it was just really fun to watch. Like, Rachel she had some different stuff. And, like,
but it's not even just
cool
that, but like the way that the burst work and the overdrive system has changed drastically from game to game too. So like, and it was interesting because I mean we'll get into this. We'll get into it later on, so I'll talk about it later on. But,
sure.
But yeah,
it's always been a crazy game, but man, it's definitely crazy. So it was fun to watch, and all I could think of while I was watching Fenrich block Ryusei's Carl. Because he literally timed out Carl on his own defense.
Right, I remember.
How is that? How do you do that? All I think was like, man, people are like complaining about offense in Street Fighter V.
Even Mortal Kombat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, 50-50s in MKX versus Carl. Come on. It was.
Man.
Incredible, but
I mean,
really fun to watch.
True story. That's how Sanford first beat Justin in MVC2. Is that he had the blocks of his lifetime. Justin was like boom, 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 and he like blocked the whole sequence, and it was the most ridiculous thing. And that's how he finally beat Justin Wong. So
yeah, man. Well, it was really fun to watch. Again, as I said with KOF, I didn't have anything against the game Blazblue.
Right.
In saying that I felt like other games should be there. I like it a lot. Yeah, I think it's really fun to watch. I haven't played in the last 2 iterations of it. Mm-hmm. But I still know the basics of the characters. Although not 9 and Izanami, which were not in there last time I played. So I saw Izanami like floating around, and she gets Gianna kept saying, she's got the ribs on, and I was like, what?
I have no idea.
She goes into a stance where she can't block, so she has to like put on armor.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty cool, but definitely wild.
Okay.
So
okay.
It was fun. Alrighty. I was rooting for Arakune to win.
Okay. Now I did manage to get to the stadium. In fact, I intentionally did to get there in time to watch some Tekken because I really, really wanted to watch this. So go.
Oh yeah, good job to Giuna and Jazz. I thought they did a good job.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Everybody who did the live in stadium stuff did a great job.
Oh, dude, for Marvel 3, after the first match, there was a big slowdown as like there was some technical glitch.
Okay.
I don't really know what happened, but between the first match and the second was probably 20 minutes.
Okay,
I don't know. It was a long time. And so, I don't know what the stream was like, but poor Neo and Ski Sonic just had to, like, talk for, like, 20 minutes in the stadium, you know? And they started getting down to just, like, the not having anything at all to talk about, you know? It was a lot of fun. Sucked for them, but funny for me.
Man. 18 minutes.
18 minutes.
Hanzo Gonzo.
Yeah, he would know.
Yeah.
Spooky came down, and you could see Gibby going up to the stage,
no.
and then you see Spencer literally sprinting to get there
Poor
onto
guy,
the stage,
dude.
and he
Poor
like
guy.
rummages around, and something gets
Right.
fixed, and he literally sprints back, you know. Back up. Anyway, so Tekken 7, 7th place Take with Kazumi, and Sukin with Eliza. 5th place also Stream Me Anakin with Jack 7. 5th place John Ding with Eddie and Lucky Chloe. 4th place Taisei with Steve.
Yes.
3rd place Ni with Fung, Steve, Brian, and Deviljin. 2nd place Echo Fox Saint with Jack 7.
That's right.
Winner of it all, Echo Fox JDCR with Heihachi and Dragunov.
Yeah. JDCR is pretty much undisputedly the best right now. He's been winning everything in Tekken 7, so yeah. But I mean, shout outs to the Echo Fox boys. This is kind of what we were one of the times we want to talk about, just the Echo Fox boys doing so well. I mean, we already had a 4th place in Mewtwo King, and now these two winning over here.
We had 2 in Top 8 and Injustice.
Right, exactly. So that was Theo and Sonic Fox. Right?
That's right.
So,
yeah. John Ding was like a game away, I think, from beating JDCR.
Dude, there were so
Very
many
close.
games where JDCR looked like he was going to get upset.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, boom, boom, he's losing, and then all of a sudden he was like, oh, wait, that's right. And then he would just, like, run through the guys.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, again, I know I don't mean to keep saying this all the time, but I've been cracking out on Tekken.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really, really enjoyed watching this.
Yeah.
And just, like, seeing... Because, like I said, I can understand the game a lot more now. You know what I mean? I understand what's happening in the game. And again, it's just, God, their movement is ridiculous. It's,
Oh man, it's crazy.
It's so
It's
silly.
crazy.
It's silly, dude.
I love watching John Ding going around with Eddie, because Eddie has the weird Jenga stance and he's like moving around anyway. So like as he moves, he's like, all of a sudden his head's here.
Right. Dude, there was
Very
that
cool.
one round, I think that JDCR had the most ridiculous parry to, like, was that in semis or was that, where was that? That might have even been at Rev Major, now that I think about it. But, like, he has been making crazy comebacks for 2 weekends in a row now. So shout outs to him for taking it. So.
Wow, John Ding is moving in with JDCR and Saint.
Ooh.
Dang.
So if Cool Gray AJ is still in the chat,
He's
he's
the
the one who said that. So John Ding is probably like, hey guys,
Hey,
talk to AJ for me. Talk
Right,
to AJ for me. Yeah.
It was very interesting to watch 2 Jacks up there play quite differently. Anakin and Saint. Anakin was so sure that his opponents had errors in code because he was just debugging everything. He was debugging
He was
it constantly.
obsessed
Oh
with
my god.
it. He was obsessed with it.
And he got his butt kicked a couple of times for it, but it was very, very interesting to see as somebody who is kind of relearning Tekken, I guess, with Jack, the difference in playstyle. Different guys. Like, one is definitely mixed up, and the other one is definitely like, I'm controlling things, I'm like being patient. It was really cool.
The one interesting thing about this, and this, I mean, not to turn this into a Street Fighter V comparison thing again, but like, the weird, interesting thing about Tekken is, there's always those lists, like the 15 best moves, right? But like 10 of those moves are going to be what everybody uses. And then there's just these weird, like, whoever uses them will lean towards certain other moves. And that makes such a big difference. You know what I mean? That's what really adds to the, interestingly enough, to the uniqueness. You know what I mean? Like, I almost feel like Street Fighter V is missing that because they don't have the close-up moves and the far moves, and so there's only a few certain buttons that serve certain roles.
Sure.
As opposed to just having random buttons that maybe don't look like they might be useful, but then someone just knows this random way to use it, kind of thing. But no, yeah.
Cool to watch.
Yeah, very cool to watch.
Cool to watch.
Different styles. So.
A lot of fun there. We had 2 Americans in top 8. They finished 5th and 7th. But, it was
Hey,
good. It was good.
It's better than Guilty Gear and Blazblue did. No, I'm just kidding. No, they did fine. The US did fine.
Cool. Fable Fab, NYC Fab. Finished 13th with Fung and Miguel. Wasn't there somebody else we don't want to talk? Oh no, that was in Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Fun to watch. Super Smash Brothers for the Wii U. 7th place, RNG The Buzz with Rosalina. 7th place also CLG Void with Sheik. 5th, Ken with Sonic. 5th also Energy Nairo with Zero Suit Samus and Bowser.
Yeah.
That was cool. 4th, P1 Tweak with Cloud. 3rd, MSF Larry Lur with Fox. 2nd place, TSM Zero with Diddy Kong. 2nd place,
Yes.
TSM Zero with Diddy Kong. Winner, MVG Salem with Bayonetta.
With the crazy comeback on that last stock. And did it in true Bayonetta fashion.
Yeah, for sure. It was really cool to watch.
I hit you, you're at, it was like 50% damage, and then at the top of the screen, brr, 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 dead. And dude, the way that it ended was so fantastic though, because he was hitting him and you just saw an explosion. It was like, game! And like, for everybody in the audience, probably for like 10 seconds, was like, who died? You know, it's like really hard to tell. But yeah, I couldn't believe that he made that comeback there because it looked like that Zero had it in the bag.
Yeah, he had to reset the bracket. It was 3-2, 3-2. It was really close.
And did you see the photo too? I mean, not, you know, it was just another one of those amazing photos of just emotion and pure, like, what this does to people. But there's a scene, like, just this really strong juxtaposition of the front row, and Zero's girlfriend is on the chair, and she's just like this, and somebody else on the side, and she's jumping.
Yeah,
like,
I think that was Salem's manager.
was that it was? Oh, okay. But yeah, it's just the what is it? The something of victory and the agony of defeat, right? It's just a great. It was just really nice. You know, it's a good esports picture. You know, it's a good esports picture. So.
Well, I thought it was really cool to watch. This is when I went to go eat.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you got to pick some point.
Right.
But while we were eating, we definitely were all watching Smash.
Yeah.
And I was drinking $5 wines. I went to the Nathan's Hot Dogs to buy wine because whatever, it's the Vegas food.
Right.
Court, right?
Yeah.
And I went up there and I was like, I'll have the Merlot. There was like Cabernet, Sauvignon, or whatever. I was like, I'll have the Merlot. And the person was like, and I was like, I'll have the Merlot. And she was like, you got it. Oh boy, that's a true story. Anyway, but while that was happening, I mean, while we were there, we were all watching, and it was, I don't know how common it is to have a Bowser as a counter pick, but that was really cool to watch. It was really cool to see all the different characters up there. Like, I mean, Smash 4 has been like that, but
it was 8 different characters.
Yeah,
right?
very, very cool.
Yeah, no, good stuff to them. I watched most of it from the audience. So I was in the audience for Tekken and most of Smash, and I was sitting with my best friends from high school, and knowing how old I am, so that's an indication of how long we've been friends. For, you know, but eventually I had to go upstairs and get ready for Street Fighter, so I watched the rest up there. But yeah, that Salem Zero ending. I was just watching. I was like, well, I think we're gonna get one of those expected endings. And then just Salem out of nowhere pulled off that combo. Just
people in the chat are saying he was at 25% was Zero.
He was at 25%
That's what
starting.
some folks just
Dang.
said.
Okay.
So that is quite an ending. Quite an ending.
Nice.
10 different characters. Yeah, right. Zero Suit Samus Bowser for 1. No, I guess 9. Well, if Luma counts as the second character,
I don't think that's what they meant.
Yeah.
But I know Bayonetta's was super good. I know she's been nerfed a couple of times, so I don't know if people still consider her OP or anything like that.
Ninth place was Elevate False with Sheik, Marth, and Donkey Kong, which is cool. 9th place also was Aberongo with Bayonetta. 9th place also was JK with Bayonetta. 9th place also was Lima with Bayonetta.
Okay, so maybe Bayonetta is kind of good. There you go. So some people are saying that she is the best character.
Oh,
She's
Tweak
the
used...
best in the game, no question.
I guess, yeah. Tweak used Donkey Kong, but...
I kind of remember seeing a Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
I kind of remember seeing a Donkey Kong. So, okay, there you go. So Bayonetta's so definitely still a strong character. Probably not like... I mean, this is just judging from the results and from what I've seen. Probably not like super OP best character.
I mean, yeah.
But just like, obviously strongest character.
Yeah.
So.
There is quite a difference between those two. So this place I was pretty sauced, and I went back and watched Street Fighter V, and I remember it like pretty well. No, but there have been some years where that's true. Yeah, where I take in bottled tequila and who knows what happened? Not me. I find out later. 7th place was Splice F Champ with Dalsum. 7th place also was, I heard it was Graph T. GRPT. That's what I heard. It was supposed to be pronounced Graph T.
Okay.
With MOV with Chun-Li. 5th place was Liquid Knuckle Dew with Guile. Yeah, no, I didn't drink that much this time.
Oh, okay.
In years past. Now I'm an old man, as I explained before. 5th place, Liquid Knuckle Dew with Guile. 5th place, and Mika. Although I didn't see him.
No, he only used Guile.
Did he only play Guile?
I think he only played Guile that whole top 8. He used Mika but earlier in the tournament.
Okay.
But in the top 8, he only used Guile.
Right.
Yeah.
5th place was Moke with Rashid.
Yeah.
Or to quote IFC Yipes, I don't know who's Moki. on the mic, on the in-house mic.
I'm glad he called him Moki instead of Moke.
I don't know who's Moki. That's his exact verbatim.
Okay.
That was hilarious. 4th was DNG Itabashi Zangief with Zangief. 3rd was GGP Kazunoko with Kami. 2nd place, PG Punk. 2nd place, PG Punk with Karen and Nash. Winner, Echo Fox Tokido with Akuma. Yep. I mean, you could see it in that top 8. I feel like the definite first and second place guys were in grand finals.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, they were the top 2 that day.
Because Punk did the same thing. He didn't lose a single game up to that point. Someone else did that too. It wasn't, who was it?
I mean, Sonic Fox didn't up to top 8, but then everyone went 0-2.
There's a whole bunch of people who didn't lose any games going up to top 8. Punk didn't lose a game until he got to grand finals.
Right.
Till grand finals, he didn't lose a game. Till grand finals.
He's pretty good.
That's crazy.
Yep, he basically blew everybody up. But Tokido moving through losers, you could see, was like the same kind of thing. I mean, as soon as he was playing F-Champ, and he did down fierce, and then V-trigger cancel, and then was looking for the V-reversal from champ, he was like parry and the cool stuff.
He actually did, it was a towards fierce. He did towards fierce.
Okay.
And that's why on commentary I was talking about how I thought he option selected.
Yeah, he might have.
And a lot of people were like, he didn't. He just saw the V reversal coming and parried. I made the mistake of saying V skill. I meant that he option selected the V trigger. So I think he just did towards fierce, jab, V trigger. And if you V reversal, it pauses it, the jab gets eaten out, and the V trigger comes out, so you know there's a V reversal, so you can parry it. And if he doesn't V reversal, then you just jab pressure after being plus, right? Pretty sure that's what he did, because there's no reason why an Akuma player would ever do towards fierce into V trigger. It's not a cancel. Like, he just did towards fierce, recovered, and V triggered. Like, to me, there's no logical reason why you would do that, because you're plus, you have an advantage, you want to attack. If you V trigger, you give all that up. So I'm pretty sure that was an option select on that part right there.
I can see that.
Yeah.
And I heard from a couple of people that he was just full of option selects.
Mm-hmm. That's what Justin said.
This is Justin.
Yeah, he said when he went to NorCal. In fact, that was the main reason why I knew Punk was worried. When Tokido made it back to Grand Finals, I was like, you know what? That is the one player Punk did not want to make it out of that losers bracket pool, because Sejam was telling the story that Tokido and Punk played a first to 10 set in NorCal before Tokido, he stopped by NorCal for a little bit before going to Evo, and he beat Punk 10-0.
Right.
And Sejam asked Punk, he was like, were you sandbagging? And Punk was like, no, he bodied me. So when Punk beat him the first time, I think there was a lot of relief. And then when he came back out, and it was just like, I gotta fight this guy again. And then Tokido did a taunt combo on him.
That's right, yeah.
Jesus. And then he took the first set. Like, I didn't say it on commentary at that time, but in my mind, I was like, Punk is done. I was like, there's no way he's winning set number 2.
I thought the same.
Yeah.
He definitely seemed done.
Because I was just like, 18-year-old, there's so much pressure. And I was saying on commentary, I was just like, he has to gather, he has to forget this. He has to remember how he played in the winner's side bracket. It's tough. I didn't think he was going to be able to do it. And sure enough, he cracked at that point in time. The nerves got to him. But you know what? He's an 18-year-old kid. Think about the stuff we were doing when we were 18 years old, right? Like, I mean, like, none of us were sitting there on a stage in front of, like, 500,000 people, watching you, trying to win, like, near 6 digits of cash, like, God.
Just being a frat hooligan.
Yeah, I know, right? Man, Oh, poor Punk.
No, he's 18.
Yeah, he's.
I believe he is in fact 18.
Yep.
Yeah. F champ.
Getting roundhoused by Vi at 18. Hell no, I was
18?
way older than that.
Are you
I
serious?
was way older than that.
Oh yeah. F champ almost beat Tokido. It was very close. It was 3-2. I mean, think about how that would have changed everything.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But then losers semifinals, Tokido 3-2 over Itabashi Zangief. That was also very close. There were definitely moments in there where Tokido looked like he could be beaten. But once he made it through those guys, and then he dispatched Kazunoko, 4 grand finals, I tweeted, like, if anybody's going to beat Punk, it's, like, definitely Tokido. I didn't really think that Punk would win seeing Tokido get through like that. I didn't even know about him bodying Punk 10-0 otherwise like that. But yeah, just the way he was playing was so strong.
Yeah, I mean, I'll also admit one thing too, because like, you know, obviously I wanted US to win, you know, to get US the first win. But if any of the Japanese players was going to take it, you know, I'm happy it was
Should have been
Tokido.
Itazan. Oh, what? No, I'm with you. I think that's very cool. I'm very happy for Tokido.
Yeah, for sure.
He's been great for a long, long time, and I think that's super cool. Yeah, but I mean, fun one to watch, and you know, different characters up there again. And I gotta say one thing. GTO Akira was way off when it came to predicting how many countries would be in top 8.
Dude.
Way off. Said 3. No, it was 2.
What did we say?
I don't know, like 5 or something.
Yeah, we
Whatever.
said 5. Oh, man. But yeah, no Lauras, no Balrogs, no Urians.
Yeah.
None of those
I don't think
characters
that's
that
a big
everybody was like,
surprise.
yeah.
Xiaobao Vega was just outside. Bonchan Nash was just outside. Haitani, Nakali, and Verloren Cammy were just outside. And then if you look a little bit further, Justin Wong was 16th with Karen and Ed.
Sako
was Akuma.
Justin was broken up about that.
Okay, I didn't see the guy the whole weekend.
Yeah, I saw him, and like I walked up to him like, "How are you doing?" And he's like, "You should know not to ask me that." And I was like, "No, I'm asking because I know."
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure that you're okay.
Yeah. Tough.
Yeah, he was not happy about that. So
I thought it was cool for Jiwa that he was 16th because I feel like that's basically the best that he's done in SF5. He's one of those guys who's always up there. But 16th at Evo was super good.
Yeah.
Wolfcrone Laura was right there.
Scary.
Machabo was 17th.
I know, right?
That's pretty cool.
You're good at fighting games. You're good at fighting games.
Right. Yeah, it was really interesting there. Tsa4, who almost lost in pools when we were commentating. He almost lost.
Yeah, he lost the first game, and then it just looked
he
like
was at match point. His opponent's match point. Like twice, I think.
Yeah.
And he made 17th at Evo, so you never know. You never know. But yeah, lots of fun results up there in the top 25. SD Pinoy up there. We were mentioning him before, doing really well.
Snake did lose the I'm Still a Daddy.
He did.
Yeah.
He
That
did.
was a big one right there.
Yeah. I'm Still a Daddy, I think got like just whatever the number is, just past 25th.
Yeah, so tied for
30-something?
yeah,
32nd?
like that, yeah.
I forgot what the progression
33rd,
is.
right? 33rd.
I guess that's
tied
right,
at
yeah.
33rd. So
Yeah, Smug was sent to losers early. Bonchan was sent to losers in literally the first round. NDOCR beat him in round number 1 for Bonchan. NDOCR had to beat somebody first, but Bonchan's first round was NDOCR and he lost, and then he finished 9th. How many matches was
17.
that? Wow. He went 17-2. I mean, give that guy a medal. Jeez.
I mean, one, you know, a lot of people were saying Andy OCR was some random bison. They just don't know, right?
Random bison?
Dude, someone actually in a group with Andy OCR standing there was like, "Did you hear? I heard he lost to a random bison." And Andy OCR said, "Yeah, it was me." And the guy was like, "What? You're not a random bison." Yeah.
There you go.
But,
you know what also was hilarious? I was talking with one of the tournament organizers, and when they were giving the little speech, little instructions to the bracket runners the day before, they had a sample bracket they put up on the screen to just like have a little talk through, right? See if you can spot the errors. And the error on the bracket that they showed was It was Bonchen's bracket. He lost first round, and so it's like, what's the issue here? Bonchen probably didn't lose to Andy OCR first round. Okay, so like, all right, let's go back and fix it, see what we can change, right? That was actual life. Only a day later.
Oops.
Only a day later.
Oops.
Yep. That's very funny, though. That's
Jinxed.
very funny.
Oh, man, that's funny. That's funny. But yeah, dude. Hearts broken the entire way up
Of
there,
course.
man. God, it was just, it's a blood bath. It's a blood bath. I just totally fobbed myself. Oh, it's blood bath. So, apologies. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. So
Yeah, and of course, as Tokido was very happy, Punk, you could see the emotion on his face, and he was upset.
Someone in the chat was saying, like, I call it. I think it was Striker Dragoon. He was saying, like, I call it, Punk's going to win Capcom Cup. And I think that's absolutely possible, thanks to this loss.
Agreed.
Because twice now, so remember South by Southwest, 7-0. Then he went 0-2 in the brackets.
Mm-hmm.
Now here, undefeated up till grand finals, and then he lost. I think the moment gets to him a little bit. I think he gets a little comfortable when he does too well in the beginning of a tournament.
Yeah.
And now that that's happened to him on the biggest stage, on the biggest match of his life, I think, well, I mean, E-League was pretty big because he got a lot of money out of that one. But
still,
Evo was the trophy.
There's literally a stage there at Evo, and there are
and not only that, but
watching
like
in person.
Punk was like, you know what? I don't even care about the money. I just want that trophy.
Right.
So for sure, the biggest match of his life on that stage at Evo, the biggest tournament of all the fighting games. To lose in that stage is going to teach him a lot.
Agreed.
And he is going to come back at Capcom Cup, and if he rolls through everybody and gets to grand finals, I don't know if he'll lose that kind of way again.
I don't think so either. Yeah. It's funny, even after that, Tokido won, and he's the best that day, but I guess I still consider Punk the best in the world.
Yeah.
It's like a general... Week to week, individual results are going to vary, right? But and Tokido obviously deserved it. He played great. But even still, I still feel like Punk is the best. Because he just blew everybody up, and he lost to a great player and who definitely had his number apparently, but he's
you could
awesome.
see it on Punk's face. Yeah, someone said that he looked mad nervous all top 8. There were a lot of matches where I was noting that his brow was furrowed, like I can't even mimic it. He was like you could see the squish up here in his eyebrows, were like this.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Like he was so nervous.
You're right.
So.
You're right. I called him to win Capcom Cup in March.
Yeah, and it's funny too because there was that CM Punk giving Punk a shout out.
That's so
that
nice.
Was so cool.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Kenny Omega, dude, to
Yep.
get CM Punk to do that. Did you see Justin's
Very
tweet?
nice.
He was like, "I'm so sad at how I did at Evo. John Cena, will you console me?"
Oh, Justin. That's very funny.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah, UBOAF says when he drank water, you could see he was shaking.
Oh, really? I don't think I noticed that. Dang.
Yeah.
That's tough.
I mean, whether he is nervous or mad at himself for making mistakes, you're kind of in your own head either way.
Yeah.
And they're a little bit different problem, but like the underlying issue of like you're living in the past,
Right.
Not quite in the moment.
It's like when you're 17 years old, you're all nervous about like asking that girl to the prom or some shit like that, right? And like here's Punk trying to win all this money on this crazy stage and put his name in fighting game history, dude.
And get the no, the big fat no. I got the no.
You got the no?
Yeah, I did.
Oh no.
Yeah, but it's like not. My friends dared me to ask the cutest girl, and I was like pretty sure in fact, I was definitely sure she would say no.
Okay.
Like 0 chance she would say yes.
Okay.
But it still took up a lot of guts to ask me, even though I was like very sure that I was. Took guts, man. Took guts. And then when I tried to ask another girl, my buddy, he's great. My friend was 5. He just as he even knew I was gonna ask her. All right, we're walking out of class. And he walks up to me just as I'm about to, hey, I like literally said hello. He comes up in between us and he's like, hey, David, can I borrow your calculator? What? No! I was like, no!
What a jerk.
No! She said no.
Well,
I mean, that's what I
her
expected.
loss. I can say from from what I've heard from.
Oh, I would have been no kind of pleasure for sure. At age 17, no, I had no idea what to do.
Oh man,
No idea.
yeah, dude, you gotta watch this Unknown and shit.
No, we were walking out of calc. I mean, she wasn't an idiot. She was a smart girl, but she was also super cute.
Okay. All right. So, anything else that you want to say about the results of Evo before we take a break and maybe talk about
Other stuff.
anything else you wanted to say about? I mean, I know there was a lot of awesome stuff. The side tournaments there. They had some Dragon Ball side tournaments. Anime Evo had a bunch of stuff. And shout outs to the Anime Evo crew, because year after year their scene is growing more. That little community is growing more and more legit, to the point that Gundam Versus even had direct Namco support there. They let them be free entries and gave them prize money and stuff like that. I think they won like joysticks and everything.
Awesome.
So it's super, super cool. So
I thought it was really cool that Moke got 5th.
And
Mostly online player, but a lot of people said he was the best Rashid in Japan. I heard that
he's
multiple
Master
times.
Rashid. He's Master Rashid
But,
online.
I mean, but online doesn't necessarily translate.
Right.
But I heard from multiple people that they thought he was the best Rashid in Japan.
Okay. There you go.
And I guess maybe on Earth.
Yeah, ST and CVS2
Chun-Li in top 8.
big.
Sick.
They got Seth Killian and John Choi to enter the ST tournament. There was 88 people who entered this ST tournament at Evo. Shoutouts to El Trouble and Killer Miller for doing a great job keeping that game alive,
Apologies to Killer Miller. I guess at some point I said that the ST scene would always continue on this show, and that may have been not certainly intended, but may have been taken as like a slight that like they just would always do it. And I definitely didn't mean that.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like that if it... My saying that it's always going to be there is like, yeah, they're always going to do it. Like, you don't have to put in any work yourself.
Oh, right, yeah.
They're going to do it. It's just
okay.
and I certainly didn't mean that. But,
right.
But no, the reason I bring it up is that it's an important point that they do a lot of work. And for any scenes that want to continue, say you want to keep running Marvel 3 as a side tournament, right? That's not going to be easy to do. Because a lot of people are going to be moving on. But if you're going to do it, it takes a lot of work. Like, you got to be willing to haul in those TVs on your own. You got to be willing to bring the systems on your own and run the brackets. It's hard.
Yeah, and
again, shout out to everybody who does that for their scenes.
Like, not to be that guy, but it's just like every year everyone's always like, hey, Evo, give a chance to the smaller communities. It will give them a shot in the arm. And as we said, KOF and Blazblue had great finals. There was no doubt that they deserved their spot and all that stuff like that, but did it give them those communities, the shot in the arm that everyone claims Evo gives you when you get put into the official lineup? Not really.
I hear you.
And that's not to say that Evo doesn't have impact. It's just, it's always the community. It's always about the community. It's always going to be about the community. Marvel should not have even made it into this event. They got in because they won that, they won the auction thing, only because that Marvel community literally brought it back from the dead, because it was pretty much, everyone was calling it dead game. That was like the biggest joke about Marvel for a while.
That was I would say last year-ish.
Yeah, 2016,
maybe.
yeah.
But yeah, over the last year, the scene has done an awesome job.
Exactly.
Curly Circuit, right? That's definitely like just a fan and community run thing. And that is a good lesson for the scene in general.
Always, it's about that community. It's always going to be about the community putting in the effort for that game.
People are just talking about what's going on with your hand there as you're shaking it with your leg. Just looks a little suspicious.
I've got my
That's all.
I've got my bay on my shirt right here, so Yeah, no, I'm a leg bouncer when I sit.
Same.
So
it's very tough for me to sit still.
Yeah,
Is the F-Champ the best Dawson? Yeah, I mean, I have thought he was the best Dawson. I don't think that's new. Although that said, Commander Jesse could not make it to Evo. Unfortunately.
God, it's so rough.
Bummer.
Yeah,
Bummer.
It's rough.
Anyway, very cool. Itazan, Zangief, alright. I'm just happy with the variety, Zangief is not the best character.
No.
And he's not top 5 either.
No.
Well, he probably is top 10. In my view.
Yeah, I can see that. It's just that he relies on that crazy streak of momentum to win a lot of the times. You know, and so I just don't think he's as solid as some of the other characters in terms of consistently being able to be, to win. So that's why I'm still kind of like, especially now that I have to put Akuma in my top 10. I think Zangief is going to fall out of there.
I think it's Tokido.
Yeah.
But Nemo thinks that Zangief is the best, or like in any case overpowered. It's not clear to me if he means that Geef is the best, or if he just thinks Geef's overpowered because Geef is viable.
I think he thinks that Geef is brainless.
Yeah,
his comment is like, I think he literally had a comment like, all you have to do is just spin the controller and hit buttons and you win.
Yeah, I mean, so whether he thinks Geef is the best or just like better than he would like Geef to be, I think that's really what it is. It's like Geef is like a playable character, which is terrible in his view. He should not be playable. Like that's my guess.
I think he kind of sees Geef kind of the same way that a lot of U.S. players see Balrog. Like you just hit roundhouse and you win, kind of thing. So
Balrog was not in the top 16.
Oh jeez.
I'm not sure. Oh no, 17. So 4 was a boxer play. Okay. But alrighty, he had a good interview Nemo did with Born Free. Again, check out his interviews. He does a great job.
But before we take a break, once again, to quote the masterful Tokido, fighting game is something so great. And dude, you don't understand. I'm sitting there, I'm tearing up because Tokido's won and everything. And Punk is crying. I'm like, I got this, I got this, I got this. And Sejam was just sitting next to me watching me. He's just laughing, kind of giggling. He's giggling at me, like wiping my tears or whatever like that.
Yeah.
And then Tokido's like, I just have one thing to say. Fighting game is something so great, and I lost it. Yeah. And Sejam said he even started felt the quiver in them.
I mean, even I did. I was in the crowd.
But dude, I lost. I was like, I wasn't even in the tournament, and Tokido bodied me anyway. So that's just the way it works.
That's the way it works. I don't know what he said in Japanese, but it seemed to me like a lot of people in the audience understood it because a lot of people were like. Responding.
Yeah. Somebody even drew a comic about it of Mago sitting in the audience.
Right. Yeah. That was so sick.
Yeah.
Asking about the secret training partner.
Yeah.
It's no secret. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, it was Mago in the comic. Mago was like, oh, yeah. It was so funny.
Very cool.
It was very cool. So.
Anyway, congrats. So that's it for the results, I guess.
Yeah.
Want to take a break?
Let's take a break. Let's talk about
character reveals.
Just stuff reveals. Yes. All right. Be right back.
It's not on break yet?
Don't die me, David.
Hello, welcome back to the Tuesday show where we continue to talk about Evolution 2017. We talked about the results. Let's talk about the reveals.
Yep, so a lot of cool reveals going on there. As we mentioned, did you even get to spend time, for example, with Final Fantasy Dissidia or Fighting EX Layer or whatever all those games are?
Yeah. Did not even spend any time at all. Unfortunately. Sunday
was the day that had all the crazy reveals. I was surprised there was no Injustice reveal. Like, they didn't show Black Mantis or Raiden or anything like that, right? Sub-Zero was banned from the tournament because he was too brand new, right?
Yeah, he just come out that week. Yeah.
Okay.
Starfire reveal tomorrow.
Oh, is that what they're doing tomorrow?
There's live stream tomorrow. They're going to talk about Starfire. But that wasn't at EVO. Mm-hmm. What came first?
In the morning, they showed, right after Marvel vs. Capcom 3, they showed footage. And according to Champ, and no one's going to believe him because he's Champ, right?
Okay.
They had the characters picked out for him already. And so he couldn't see the character select screen when he did the exhibition in the morning.
The morning Marvel Infinite, just after Chun-Li won EVO Marvel 3. Combo Fiend and F-Champ came up onto the stage to play an exhibition of Marvel Infinite.
And they already had the characters picked, so he didn't see the character select screen.
Yeah.
And then 2 games into it, when it was 1-1, Combo Fiend goes to character select, and voila, is Jeddah. And so Champ had a reaction, and everyone's like he didn't see it earlier when he was picking. I mean, that's what Champ said, so,
yeah, I mean, it's not at all unbelievable to me
that
they would just trick him like that. I mean,
and the other thing, too, is, you're having fun with this, and people don't realize this. Yeah, sitting at home, you're going to watch and be like, oh, sick, Jeddah's there. If you're on that stage, you have different emotions. You know what I mean? Even if you're playing an exhibition. So when you're playing that and you see Jeddah like that he busts out Jeddah on you like that, you're going to get pretty excited about it. If I was sitting in there, I would have been like, holy crap, you know?
Right,
like, you know, like, Jeddah, oh my God! And he looked pretty sick.
Dude, his animations were great.
Dude, he doesn't
really
even look like
good animations.
He doesn't look like he was animated by the same team that animated Chun-Li. I'll say that
totally
much.
With you. He looks so much better.
Oh my God.
Who is Jeddah?
Jeddah is the... So...
That's a good question, because it's been a long time since he was in a video game.
Vampire, a.k.a. Darkstalkers, is a series in which all the bad guys are based off of movie monsters and standard movie monsters done with the Darkstalkers twist. Like Anarchus is a mummy, and he's about as far from a mummy as you could be while being a mummy, right? You know, Dimitri is the vampire, whatever like that.
Got the Frankenstein's monster with command grab with his butt.
Yes. Jeddah is the Grim Reaper of the Darkstalkers world. He has sickles that he fights you with, but the coolest thing about it is the way that he fights you, he is this big giant purple dude with these wings and blades, and the way he fights you is by injuring himself and trying to attack you with blood, basically. So
he
like
cuts himself.
Standing medium kick. So like I said, his wings have blades on him. He actually takes his hand on his wings and slices him and sprays blood at you. His guard reversal is a special animation where he chops off his head with his thumb, and the blood that sprays out of his neck attacks you. He throws sickles. One of his supers, he cuts his wrist and blood pours out of it, races across the floor, turns into a giant hand, grabs you, slams you on the ground, smears you in the blood, and a contract comes up and he slams you into the contract. Then he takes your soul.
That's quite a game to be like in the 90s. You know, that's...
Yeah, Jeddah is a sick ass character.
Yeah.
Like he is probably one of the coolest characters.
Definitely.
Ever. So he showed up now in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Like you said, he looked really good.
His animations were really good, I thought.
Yeah, it was really interesting to me because he did a lot more things where he would turn himself into a sickle and attack. He didn't really do that as much except for like in one move in Darkstalkers where when you did quarter circle back plus kick in the air, he would go and then dive down and like Izuna drop you basically.
So, yeah.
But if you hit kick or punch while you were in the middle of that, he would come down as a blade. But now he just jumps in the air and turns into a blade and spins. And it looked like he tried the blood contract super on Champ, but Champ escaped it, so I think he just missed that.
Well, interesting to note that his blood was purple. I mean, he's purple. Oh, you didn't notice? Yeah, all of his blood is purple. Maybe for getting around ESRB ratings?
Yeah, Disney stuff, right?
Disney?
So, yeah. Definitely.
But in any case, that's cool. And I mean, you know, we couldn't really see it there, but I would love to see... I guess it probably exists. I'd like to see a high res of that stream and like slow it down and see if he's still like cutting himself. And,
Yeah,
cool
yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. But he looked really good. He definitely looked a lot more polished than a lot of the other characters did. Like, it's hard to say that him and Chun-Li are in the same game right now.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah. But he looked pretty sick. I'm excited about that. So, and yes, there were some more Marvel reveals at Comic-Con, but we'll talk about that in a little bit because that'll be in the FGC news. We're just talking about
I may not know about
the
that.
Evo reveals, right? Oh, you might not have missed that, huh? Okay, it's nothing that I don't think anybody was really surprised about, but
I did see one thing. I don't know what the rest of stuff. In any case, yeah, I thought that was cool and it was fun. It was a fun match. You know, F Champ's not. Well, I don't know. I assume he's not playing the game like that, but
right.
I don't know. In any case, it was fun to hear people talking about Marvel Infinite. I didn't get to play it at Evo, but I talked with quite a few people who were spending a lot of time with it. And they all had crazy traps they were coming up with, and they were just talking about how they were constantly switching, just like constantly, everything they were switching. It sounds cool.
Okay, cool. And it's really interesting, too, because I noticed a distinct difference between everybody who was at the venue and everybody who was watching the stream.
Okay.
Everybody watching the stream said it looked terrible, Jeddah looked stupid, and it was boring, and then everybody that was at the venue was like, oh my god, he looks so sick, and da-da-da-da.
I guess I should see like a high-res stream of it, because... I mean, it was on the, whatever the Transvision is called, in the big center.
I don't think that has anything to do with it.
Yeah,
I just think it's just when you're in that Evo high, you know what I mean? It's like, it's so cool there. It's just like that guy said, when you're there at the event, it's such a different energy.
Yeah.
There's so much positivity at those events. as opposed to when you're at home and you can just criticize every little thing, right?
It's true.
Which I'm not saying either viewpoint is more legit because...
Well, look, I mean, when I'm watching E3 reveals, I am definitely on Twitter trying to be as jerky as I possibly can.
Right, exactly.
So I get it. I totally understand.
Exactly. So, but then the next couple of reveals were like, boom,
unexpected.
Because they were going to announce, they showed something for Blazblue.
Right, after Blazblue.
They're like, here's the announcement, and I was sitting there, and I was like, because remember I asked James Shea the week before, I was like, have they announced any new characters for Blazblue? Is there any like sign that there's a continuation? There's a new character coming out, and I looked at that, and I was like, the only character that they could reveal for this game that would generate the hype that it needs to have would be Jubei. Because I know if people have been wanting that character forever, and they said they didn't want to put Jubei in the game because he's supposed to be basically the most powerful character ever. But it looks like they did it, and sure enough, Jubei, basically the master swordsman cat character.
Cat samurai.
From the same clan that Taokaka is from.
And also... Nine's husband?
Yes, Nine's husband. Yeah, it's like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit kind of thing going on there, I think. But
I don't know, in that world, maybe that's totally fine.
But, man, people went nuts for that character. People were super hyped for him.
Yeah, people in the audience were going pretty nuts, that's for sure.
I know people who had, like Jubei, little plushies and stuff like that. People love that character. And he's only showed up in, like, stories and, you know, in the stories and the modes and stuff like that, so... There you go. Jubei was announced, but then Arxis wasn't even done yet.
Yeah, I thought that was it.
Yeah, everyone was like, woo! And he's like, wait a minute. We're going to show you some new Trunks footage from Dragon Ball Z. And they showed some Trunks footage from Dragon Ball Z, and it was pretty cool.
Wasn't that after
Was it
Tekken?
after? Oh, that might have been after Tekken, you're right.
Because, you know...
Yeah, because it's Bandai Namco.
They're publishing it.
Yeah, you're right.
Arxis
Okay.
is developing it. In any case, just talk about it. It's fine.
But look, then the next game came... So Arxis was then like, okay, we're going to announce one more game. And Blazblue characters showed up, and then it was like time for the ultimate like crossover, and I was like, huh? And then Persona 4 characters jumped into the game. And I was like, holy crap, they're doing a Blazblue Persona crossover. That's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
And then...
It's like one of those TV offers.
Yeah, but wait,
no,
there's more.
Yeah.
Then the Unio characters jumped in there. Under Night characters jumped in there, and it was like, what?
Yep.
What? And then they basically played through the whole trailer, and it looked like it was going to end. Now, I have no association with the last franchise here, but they actually announced a fourth franchise, and there were rumors about a Ruby fighting game coming up, and people weren't sure about it. Like, were they going to make this? And then, sure enough, Ruby shows up in there all of a sudden out of nowhere. Now, after doing some of the research, Ruby is it's an animated series that was exclusively on YouTube, created by the late Monty Oum. I think that's how you pronounce his name, O-U-M, who used to basically make all the 3D like crazy fight videos where he would like have the Dead or Alive fight like the Final Fantasy like 10 girls and stuff like that. He would do a lot of those crazy videos. So he had his own series called Ruby on there. And sure enough, Ruby is a fourth franchise that is being added to this entire colossal conglomeration of characters. So yeah, pretty crazy. Of people saying the volume's a little low. Let me turn it up here. So
what? Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of information about the game, or you know, which characters in particular will be there. Presumably, it's not every Under Night character, every Persona 4 character, you know, etc. That seems unlikely to me, but. You know, probably going to be some of the more popular ones, and I'm really looking forward to that, because some of those characters are... I mean, each one of those games has really crazy characters. That's what a lot of people like about it. When I played them, that's what I liked about it.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, because it's called BlazBlue Cross Tag Event or something like that, and it's going to be a 2v2 game. So it's two characters versus two characters.
It's just like, how does the team work exactly?
Right, and because it's called BlazBlue specifically, I think it's probably going to be mostly BlazBlue system mechanics. You know, that's my thought. So I think a lot of the characters are going to play BlazBlue style. It might be, every character might just be ABC and a drive button, you know, kind of situation. So,
right.
But I mean,
Whoa, that sounds cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
I really hope that it's the kind of game that has assists and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
it's not just like one FP.
So do you want your Tager Waldstein team?
No, I want Tager plus new or Hilda
that
plus.
Sounds so annoying.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally.
Oh my god.
Or like Hilda plus new, and you're just like there's just crap everywhere on the screen. You know,
yeah, all
like
those games have 4 buttons, obviously, but like Persona was attack, and then Persona.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they're gonna rectify that. Are the Persona characters gonna still attack with Persona? You know, it's gonna be really weird. So it's gonna be really interesting. Would be crazy if they actually just try to integrate all the systems in there. So like if you're a Union character, your 4 buttons are different than if you're a Persona character, you know, and stuff
just
like that.
Make it fighting jam.
God. Now it sounds like a terrible.
Now it sounds terrible. Yeah. But yeah, some of those characters are so crazy that giving them an assist, I don't know. Balance sounds tough to me, but we'll see.
And by the way, I will say this for fighting game news in any case. But that was a cool announcement.
Yeah, definitely.
And then there was the Trunks announcement for Dragon Ball,
yes.
right? So
Trunks.
they actually showed Trunks footage, and again, neither of us are Dragon. Well, I'm not a Dragon Ball person, right?
I'm not a Dragon Ball person. I know who he is.
Yeah. See, I know you made the joke a long time ago that everyone looks the same. You know, there's just different shirts or whatever like that. I'm still kind of in that section because I really just don't know the difference between all the yellow-haired, spiky-haired guys.
I hear you.
I just know that one of them's really short, you know, and that's about it. And apparently one of them has a sword now. So, but, I mean, needless to say, everyone went hype for that. Everyone went crazy. And then they announced the new guest character for Tekken. And I was sitting in the audience. And I'm just like, who could this guest character possibly be?
Yeah.
Because there's no hints about it.
They did a great job.
And shout outs to Harada trolling Ono. Did you see his most recent tweet?
Mm-mm.
There was a picture of like Harada holding a piece of paper, and Markman's like, Photoshop this to the best you can. So someone Photoshopped Ono on it, and like Harada pointing at like, Ono is going to be the next character in the game or something like that. Oh no, Harada actually tweeted that. He was like, yes, Ono is going to be the new character in the game. And then Ono comes back. He's like, so what kind of deal is it? You know, like, how much percentage of the cut am I going to get? And blah, blah, blah. And then Harada retweeted back. He's like, storyline. Ono discovers that all the leaks are coming from the Mishima temple. And so he's, like, going to, like, I was just like, yo, Harada is going in,
That's
dude.
hilarious.
I was like, that was amazing, dude.
Yeah, Geese, I hadn't heard of him being leaked.
Right. Oh, did some people say
case.
Geese was leaked?
I don't think it was.
Because the funniest thing is, I'm sitting there watching it, and it was like, Mishima, and you see him, like, look up, and you hear the, dude, as soon as that happened, as soon as that laughed, it was the first noise Geese made. It was like, someone sitting in front of us, like, popped out of his chair and was like, it's Geese! It's Geese! I was like, what the hell? Like,
how?
And then all I was thinking in my mind is, there's no way this is Geese. That doesn't make any sense. And then the little Japanese doors came up, like the CVS 1 intro, and I was like, what the hell? How did you know? You know, but apparently Hell Pockets did the same thing in somewhere else in the stadium.
I guess he was hinted at, folks are saying. I don't remember hearing about that at all, but
oh,
okay.
Really? Okay. But yeah, dude.
He did say that he wanted Geese in the game, Harada did. But, you know, you never take that too seriously.
He also trolled because he was like, I'm having a meeting with Arxis right now. You know, but dude.
Maybe that's not trolling, James. Maybe there's going to be Soul Bad Guy.
I know. But dude, I will tell you right now, I've never played KOF. I'm only just getting into Tekken.
Yeah.
I got so hyped.
I was hyped. Everybody was hyped, man.
So hyped.
Everybody was standing up. There was nobody sitting down.
Everybody
was standing up cheering.
So good.
Yeah.
And did you see the picture of Rip and Tasty Steve during the announcement?
Oh, I could see him down there, though.
Steve is like, when he's literally eating his hand, and Rip is just like this the whole entire time. And Steve actually commented on that picture. He was like, I don't even remember eating my hand.
Yo,
yeah. Like, I don't even remember that happening.
That. No, you could see them, the commentators, they were down in the center, right next to the stage. They're just sitting in chairs in the front row. And from where I was sitting, I could see them going nuts. But I could see everybody going nuts. Everybody was jumping around. Everybody was on their feet. Everybody was yelling. It was super hype.
Pandemonium at its best,
like,
basically.
Yeah. Everybody was yelling predictable when he did the counters, everybody was doing
Dude,
it.
when he did it to
and it was all at the same time. Like, no, like,
Dude,
I don't even think anybody heard, like, that guy said predictable. I should do it for the next one. Everybody, the first time, was like, predictable!
Right,
Like, everybody was like in unison. It was great.
Dude, and then finally, whoever edited that trailer together did such a great job, because it was seriously like, he was countering, and everyone's wondering, can he counter rage arts?
Yeah.
Then at the very end, you see some guy activate the rage art, and it was boom, predictable, boom, predictable, boom, predictable, boom. I was just like, oh my god, you are ridiculous. But yeah, there's the picture right there.
Oh yeah, if you don't know the character Geese very well, when he does counters, that's what he says.
Yeah.
Predictable.
Yeah, let's see, here we go. I'm just going to zoom in on their faces here. Whoops, why does that go so high up? Look at this. Look at these faces here. Look at these guys here.
This was everybody, though. Again, it wasn't just these two.
Right?
Well, maybe not that lady in the back on the left there. Maybe she, I don't know what her deal is. But everybody else.
Yeah. Okay, lady, okay, you know what?
All right, get out of here. Yeah!
Yeah, she's kind of ruining this picture here.
Yeah, Rip is definitely going to make that an emote.
Oh, yeah, he has to. Oh,
sure.
God. That would be too perfect. There you go. This is the excitement levels of people here. Oh, look at these guys.
Well, where I was standing up in the cheap seats, everybody was standing.
Oh yeah, dude.
I don't know about these people who bought the extra fancy floor tickets and whatever they got going on, but from where I was, everybody was going nuts.
Yeah, and that was so ridiculous when they announced that. I was just like, what? And that just made me think, like, who the hell else are they going to announce? And I love the fact that they're bringing in the bad guys.
I didn't think about that.
It's not like, hey, let's bring in Akira from Virtua Fighter. Okay. Let's bring in, like, they put in Akuma and they put in Geese.
That's a good point.
So all I'm thinking now is, like, let's put in Shang Tsung and he'll actually turn into the other Tekken characters or something. Cool. Like, it would be so weird. What if Shang Tsung was, like, their Mokojin? That he would actually be Shang Tsung, and then you do a code, and he goes, and he doesn't actually transform. He just like, and all of a sudden he fights like Jack, or like he'll turn longer, and then he fights like Jack.
That would be awesome.
That would actually be kind of sick.
That would be. Really
I'm setting us up. I'm setting us up, dude. I'm setting us up. So, because if I asked, like, who would you want to see it? And I selfishly said I would love to see them put a 3D Kyoko in the game, because I just want to see a Tekken rendered Kyoko from rival schools.
Yeah, Kyoko. Everybody's favorite character.
Dude.
Kyoko from rival schools.
My one true fighting game waifu.
Alright.
Oh, man. But yeah, a lot of people are saying, like, Arc System Works, Arc System Works, who would you put in from there? Like, would you put in Azrael, or would you just put in Soul Bad Guy, or what? Because Soul kind of is a bad guy.
Yeah.
But,
I don't know. Slayer would be really cool.
Oh,
they would do such a good job with Slayer. They would do such a good job. He would look so cool.
And he fights with his hands. He'd be perfect for it.
Right.
Oh, God, people are getting me too hype about this now. Dude, someone said Ganondorf. That would actually be funny,
That would be so cool.
Ganondorf, yeah.
They've done Nintendo characters before, right? Didn't they do, like, Zelda and stuff?
Link was in one of the games. Link was in Soul Calibur. Yeah, Link was in Soul Calibur, yeah.
So, there's precedence.
Dude, they can't put Johnny in the game. He has a freaking sword that reaches halfway across the screen. There's no way you'd be able to put him in the game that would make him work.
It would be tough. But hey, Geese has double Rapuken.
I know he really does. Double Rapuken! God, dude, oh man. Anyways.
Dang.
I was told I would, because they have announced that there's 2 more guest characters. Now we know one of them is Geese.
Okay.
And so I was told I probably wouldn't be able to guess the second one.
You would not?
Yeah, but we'll see.
Interesting.
Oh, they put a Samurai Showdown 2 character in there?
That would be...
But there's no way.
It would have to be big grappler hands guy. His name I don't remember.
Seeger?
Is that what it is? Guy with like rock for hands or whatever it is.
Well, Seeger's the one with a giant gun arm.
No.
Earthquake is another grappler guy.
Anyway.
What's his name? Wan Fu, the guy who pounds his head into a pillar.
I don't remember.
Carves
I guess.
himself. Okay.
Am I thinking of Last Blade right now? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Samurai Showdown.
I was only thinking about Last Blade too.
Oh, were you? Oh, okay.
My bad.
Okay.
Yep.
Nicotine,
Shingen.
caffeine.
That's totally what I was thinking about.
Caffeine. Which one were you thinking of? Shingen. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Definitely what I was thinking about.
Okay.
Anyway, that was all very cool. And everybody was super hyped.
And then they revealed, before Street Fighter V started.
Right, so we had just seen Geese and
then Smash Wii U
Trunks
happened. Right,
Right.
And then
fast forward through multiple $5 wines.
Mm-hmm. And then before Street Fighter V, Ono came out and said, enjoy this new trailer. Abigail had kind of been already rumored to be the next character. There's a lot of leaks and all these other problems.
There were rumors, yep.
But sure enough, right when it started, it showed like the Final Fight music, background stuff.
That was cool.
Yeah. And then, sure enough, Abigail. And wow. Like, people said that he is supposed to be the tallest character. And
he's listed as 8 feet tall.
They delivered on that.
Oh, he's definitely 12 feet tall.
Zangief look tiny.
He's definitely 12 feet tall. He's not 8. So they went overboard on that. But that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Now that I've seen him again, I think he looks cool. We'll talk about, I guess, that.
Yeah.
Initial reveal was not the same response as with the previous reveals in the stadium. I don't know how it was at home.
Right.
It was like, what? Like, I heard that, I don't know how many times. What? What? Just like confusion, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And like I think kind of like...
The funny thing is, like, the initial reaction that you see him in without seeing all everything else was that he just looked stiff. Especially because this is the move that sticks out the most, and it's like the most basic move. But then obviously the Winner Stays On had the sessions, and they were able to capture a lot more stuff. You can see a lot more of the personalities, like his post moves where he's like dancing and stuff.
He looks great now. But in that initial reveal, he looked dumb. Yeah. Yep, he did. And yeah, it was not an exciting like reveal. And yeah, a lot of people didn't know what game he was from in the first place.
Right.
Who is this character?
Right. Why is he here?
What?
Right.
You know, again, I heard that a lot. And in seeing him play there, like, you couldn't, you know, from that initial trailer, you can't really see how he plays. Mm-hmm. Okay, he has a command grab. I see him grab. He turns the yellow. It's EX command grab. I get it. He has this thing. Okay. And what does his trigger do?
And he had a throw where he just did this.
He just goes, why?
Right.
Why just this? What is that about? And then his super was cool. His super did get a reaction.
Yeah.
So super, he puts them up and he does the little
right.
That actually was funny, and everybody laughed.
Right.
A lot of people.
But see, that's the thing that I was worried about, is I felt like they were going too much in that humor direction. Like,
they're definitely in humor.
In that silly character, you know, where, like, you're not supposed to take him seriously kind of thing. And that always kind of bothers me when they go too far down that direction.
Yeah.
But,
It definitely is like that. But, so, yeah, that was the initial thoughts, and then, whatever, Street Fighter V happened and so forth, and the rest was cool. It's just that initial reveal was not the same degree as everybody else.
Like, honestly, if you were going to do the trailer properly, you should have had more Final Fight in there. You should have showed the Final Fight throw where he did this, and then show him do that.
That would have made a lot of sense.
You know, then show him do the running, boom, hit him, and then you know what I mean? Kind of like show it a little bit of where the moves are coming from and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like a lot of the stuff, you know, on watching it again, the trailer, I thought it was like funny, or it seems maybe useful or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like when he first showed up on the screen, he thinks he's a car or whatever. So he's like driving around and he goes,
yeah.
When that first moment happened in the stadium, we were all so much like, what? Like, that humorous moment was totally lost on at least me. Right. I did not even notice that until later on.
Yeah.
I went back and that's pretty funny.
And again, that's not on the editors or anything like that, but it's just the character choice and the timing and the reveal. And I really do feel like that they probably could have did more with the reveals. There just should have been more reveal for Capcom at that time. You're going to be the last game. You're the biggest game. And I just didn't feel like
They got shown up, man.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you got Trunks and Geese. You got a brand new crossover, Blazblue.
You know
it's
what?
like,
we even forgot to mention that Fighting EX Layer had some announcements, right?
Daru Mister was there.
Dude, Skullomania. So
Skullomania?
I mentioned I was there with my best friends, right?
Yeah.
So these are the two best friends that we cracked out on EX that one time, and all we did was beat the computer so we could all watch all the stupid endings. And one of my best friends, his favorite character of like all time is Skullomania. And so there was even this game called Fighter Maker that came out one time where you could like try to make your own fighting game, and Skullomania was in there as a guest character. And my friend bought that just because Skullomania was in there. And so when they announced Skullomania, dude, like my friend was like through the roof.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, Darun humping everybody was cool.
Yeah. Skullslider! Skullheader!
Yeah, whatever.
The best thing about it is that I feel like they use the exact same voices and the exact same animation. Indurai Bashi! Radiatua! You know, I mean, it was pretty amazing, dude.
Yeah.
It was pretty amazing.
So that was hype. Again, everything else was hype. So, Abigail. Having seen him later, and if you guys haven't seen it, on Winter Stays On and on Capcom Fighters, they had a session with Abigail, with the Street Rider from Capcom, was there sort of going through the character. He looked so much better, I thought. Like, his animations were so... Yeah, I mean, things that you couldn't see in the trailer, just because they didn't show them. Yeah, his neutral animation is hilarious. His backdash animation is hilarious. Even just a lot of his normals are like animated well. The fierce, where he kind of goes like this, I think it looks nice. Yeah, so I think his animations look good.
Coming out of there, my memory from Evo was that he was really stiff looking.
Agreed.
And then as soon as I saw, shout out, look, if you want to see a lot of stuff about him, go check out Hi Fight, HIFIGHTH. On Twitter, he has all this stuff, and he clipped out a bunch of, like, after all of his special moves, he does you know how, like, when Q parries, he dusts himself off, and you don't have to let him dust himself off. You can move, or there's the interruptible animations, but apparently everything that he does has that. So he'll, like, punch someone, and he's just, like, getting, you know, like, he does, like, it was weird how much my memory had turned him into this big stiff thing that was just rotating on his waist.
Yep.
All of a sudden to, like, this character looks sick.
Like, fluidly animated.
And
a lot of personality in it. And his moves look useful. Which is cool for a huge character. I mean, it's on the editors, dude. Like, I don't know what else to say. I feel like if you see this and you don't put that in the trailer, what are you doing?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's the coolest thing. That's, like, the coolest backdash. It's something that no other backdash has. You just do a backdash and you recover. But he's doing this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to have put that in the trailer, I feel. Yeah. So I thought that was a bummer. The trailer could have been better. The character, I think, looks really cool.
Yeah, you did see that Storm Kubo has already changed his name to Abigail Kubo.
I did. Yeah. And, so I have also seen that...
I don't know if he's actually trying to correct the announcer on the pronunciation of his name. Because, like, Abigail, and he's like, Abigail! You're like, I don't know if that I think it just turned out to sound that way, and I think that's funny.
A lot of his moves say Abigail. Yeah, His hair is a maple leaf, right.
Oh, he's from Canada, that's right.
Right. So there's a lot of cool things that you don't notice the first time you see later.
Yeah.
And I really feel like that's just not a good trailer. So that's unfortunate, because there could have been hype in the audience. Like, if in the audience we had seen the finger guns backdash and the cool-looking animations... would have been a different response for sure. So he has been changed, I guess, or it was a glitch or whatever, but in the initial trailer, he is super hulked up.
Yeah, he's in V-trigger mode.
Even though he's not red. Like, he's just perma-hulked. And I don't know if that means that he was glitched to always be that way at the time, or if it was like a design decision to, like, later on... change the character so he has
made in too old.
It was an early build.
Like
I don't know, but in any case, in the initial trailer, you see him and he's super hulked up, and he's doing elbow day, like his elbow has got muscles on it, right? It's weird. And then you see it later, and it doesn't look like that.
Right.
It's only when he's in trigger, which is fine. Like he's now he's specifically bulked up. I get it. It's like, I understand. Again, the trailer was.
Yeah, it just...
Very missed opportunity.
And you know what the worst thing about it was, too? Even F-Word kind of joked about it. After Street Fighter V was done, he's like, I'm not leaving. Because there's going to be another reveal. And, like, he's filming this. And then the You're All Free Now video comes up. And you hear him go, what? Come come on, man. Like, you could hear him actually, like, because, dude, I think a lot of us were sitting there being like, is this gonna, there's got to be another reveal. There's got to be one more reveal. And there just wasn't.
There wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, like I mentioned today at Comic-Con, they announced some new characters in Marvel. They confirmed Gamora, right? Who we all knew was in there already,
right?
Who's
an Evo.
Right. Thing. And then, but they showed Hagar, Frank West, Spider-Man, and who was the last one? I can't remember now.
I only saw Hagar.
Okay. I definitely saw Hagar, Spider-Man. I mean, there was like some footage that got leaked out of the announcement that someone recorded, with
Nemesis.
Nemesis, that's what it was. It was Nemesis.
Wow, they kept the big guy, huh?
Yeah, but again, the tough part about that is that's 4 characters who were in the previous game. And so a lot of people are mad about that, right? Because they're just like, they think that they're saying the roster's really bad because it's all just rehashed characters. And I totally get that.
Sure.
I totally get that. It's really unfortunate.
I totally get it. I think it's to be expected that it would be mostly repeat characters, but yeah, it's still unfortunate, for sure. For sure. So now I'm excited for Abigail, having seen more of him. I feel like he is the kind of character that I would want to play with big normals, look like they can whiff punish well, and that, has command run and command grab and some trickiness about him, and he's a goofball. So those are all things that I like.
Did you see the footage that looks like that he might not be able to beat Fang?
No.
Because he can't get underneath Q. He's standing up, he can't walk underneath Q at all. Like Nishikyu, when he throws the fireballs, like the fierce ones way up in the air, they actually hit him.
Weird.
Like at the arc of it.
Yeah. I wonder if there will be Nishikyu comp. Well, it's like minus on hits.
Right.
Maybe not.
I mean, apparently he has moves where he can roll through and roll under and stuff like that.
Yeah, his down roundhouses.
Yeah. So that might.
I mean, they're not going to make him a gimp, terrible character. They're going to do their best.
What is going on here? Let's see. Why is this like?
Right. Yeah. I mean, the reveals before Abigail were definitely crazy and awesome. And it would have been difficult to meet the bar set by them. But even still, like I said, I really feel like the trailer could have been significantly better. So.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I really think they should have just released all 3 of the characters. Just been like, here's the next 3 coming characters. This one's coming next. Here's the next. Who the next 2 are. I don't think there's any point because, I was saying to other people, last year, the 6 characters got leaked right away. We knew who they were: Alex, Balrog, Yuri, and all those guys. And when they revealed the character trailers for them, everyone was still hyped. It wasn't like, we already knew Yuri was coming.
That's true.
We already knew Ibuki was coming. Remember when Ibuki was revealed and then she did the Naruto thing and Tasty Steve and Seijam lost it? When Yuri stepped out and L.I. Joe was throwing on the rings, I just don't think that, like I said, just tell us who the characters are. If
we had known it was Abigail, still, seeing the character from Final Fight does not prepare you for how they did in SF5. It would still be a surprise. And if the new characters are indeed, Rose's training partner or whatever the thing, I don't know. And then there's something else.
And then it was Zeku,
Guy's master or something. If those are the characters, the fact that we know who they are doesn't mean we have any idea what they look like in SF5, how they play. And then we don't have to play this game of oh, look at these silhouettes. Who are they? I don't think that that's productive necessarily. So. Well, it's a bummer. It's just another one of these opportunities that could go very differently. Really could go very differently. And it just never seems to. Right. I'm looking forward to playing Abigail next week. I really, really hope, though, if one of these days, if Capcom ever fixed the 2-player rematch thing, that they do a trailer of nothing but thumbs up, and then they could just say, no more, and then just have a trailer with that. That would be very funny. I think that would be amazing. That would be great. I think that would be an awesome trailer. It's definitely not happening. It would be great. It would be great. But he is coming out next week. Yeah, next week, so he's going to be soon. So, and actually, seeing that he's a character that I can hit people from way further away than they can hit me kind of makes me a little excited about him.
just to be able to have this interesting footsie kind of
Yeah,
character. He might even be kind of zony against some characters. You know?
I'm excited for him.
Like if you're Cammy and you're trying to walk up and stand medium kick you, and you're like, boom, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and his buttons looked fast enough to be able to do that kind of stuff. We'll see how it ultimately is in the final build. But,
right,
yeah.
exactly. So yeah, I'm kind
yeah,
of
man.
excited,
All right. Cool,
All right.
cool.
I guess I don't really have much else to say about that. I know. Was there any other reveal or anything like that you wanted to talk about?
I don't think we're missing anything.
They announced 2 more Dragon Ball characters recently, which were going to be Krillin and...
Right. Piccolo?
Piccolo. Thank you. Yes, Krillin and Piccolo. And so...
Krillin, the world's strongest human.
The world's strongest human.
Which means he's, like, pretty low on the totem pole on the DBZ.
Chilling like a villain is Krillin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, so those 2 characters were announced. So a lot of people are very hyped for that. And in fact, that's right. We should also say that they did show the Final Fantasy Dissidia trailer. Everybody who bought a ticket to EVO is going to get an email with a closed beta code for Final Fantasy Dissidia. So everybody at EVO is going to get a Final Fantasy Dissidia code.
Ooh, I missed that.
Yeah, they announced that at one point in time. So... And then also the beta for Dragon Ball's coming out, and all 9 characters who have been announced will be in that beta as well. Have you even had a chance to play it yet at all?
Played 2 games of it at E3.
Okay. It's really interesting. There's no throws.
Right.
So they have these unblockable charges instead that if they hit each other, they tech.
Right.
And then, sure enough, a lot of the combos can just be like A, B, B, C, C. You know, it's very chainy kind of game. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this goes, because that might be so great for if they can do what I always said, that you make the barrier of entry really low, but then you still leave the ceiling really high. Like that could bring in so many people. And there is definitely, I hit one button and I started throwing fireballs across the street.
Yeah.
There is definitely
individual normals have all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, that game definitely makes you feel like a badass.
Yes, agreed.
For sure. So I'm super hype about this game. I think it has a lot of potential to be a very huge entry into the fighting game community.
Agreed. Okay.
You want to take a break, or do you just want to clear out the rest of this stuff because it's already 10:40?
Dang. Yeah, sure, go for it.
Yeah, let's just clear out the rest of this stuff. Upcoming events. So this weekend is DreamHack Atlanta. Not a premiere event, but it is a ranking event. Pretty sure. So a lot of players are going out over there. We should probably also talk a little bit about that HyperX event that took place yesterday, I believe it was.
I was working the whole day.
Oh, okay. So I mean, it was like the Street Fighter versus Smash, and they had a bunch of the Echo Fox players there, like Daigo was there, and a whole bunch of people there, and it's so funny to me because, like, I swear to God, someone just needs to hire me for all ideas at this point in time. Because remember when they wanted to do the beach a long time ago, and they were trying to turn it into this big old tournament and everything like that. And I was like, you're doing this right after EVO. You're sending them all to the beach, and you're trying to run this major tournament. I was like, no. Just make it a fun tournament where people can show their personalities, where they can relax. Just make them play like Marn Random Select Tournament versus Justin Random Select Tournament. Yep. Have fun with this event, and I think that would get you more viewers. I think that would be more awesome. And they're like, no, we're going to be bigger than EVO. It's like, okay. And it bombed. And then HyperX comes, and they're all playing Jenga, and they're getting everybody to dab on camera and stuff like that. Okay. Did you see Daigo try to play Street Fighter on a pad?
I saw a gif of it.
Oh, I mean, literally, he was like...
Yeah.
Like,
he was like looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, he was looking at it like it was like a freaking, like a creature from another planet that he was analyzing and worried that he was going to catch some alien sickness from. That seriously, that was exactly what they should have done, and I thought it was the perfect post-Evo event. I thought it was genius, and I hope they keep doing it every year. So, Daigo dabbing, dude, and even Tokido dabbing. Like when he did it, it was like a kung fu dab. I swear, like he was just like, whoosh, and that was it, dude. Like it was crazy.
That's cool.
And then Daigo tried it, and it was adorable again. So
he's an adorable guy.
Yeah, Daigo's an adorable guy. So, but yeah, so shout outs to them. Also coming up this weekend, Someone sent me this. The reason why I wrote this here was so I could remember that something was coming up. Let me see here. If I have this. And a lot of people send me stuff here. Not this one. Sorry, guys. I should have pulled this up ahead of time. Someone sent me that there's something going on. They would like to ask if I mentioned it over the show today. And here we go. My bad. I'm just really sorry that I'm behind on this. Tell an interesting story, David.
People were dancing at the after party. There was a whole FGC dance party. And Devil May Spy, Calvin, was in the middle of it from the NRS scene. Perfect Legend, who's definitely like a ham anyway. He was in the middle of it, dancing up a storm.
He is a dancer.
He was actually legit.
That guy is a dancer.
He's legit for sure.
Yeah.
Somebody who I didn't know went in and breakdanced for a little while. It was pretty cool. But my favorite was the very awkward-looking Caucasian fella who was terrible. Terrible.
Okay.
And yet there he was in the midst of all of these players and all these folks who are good at dancing. And he was just, you know what, doing his thing. And it was awful. I'm sure he knew it. He did it anyway. And I have to say, that's, you know, that's good work.
Yeah.
That's good work.
Absolutely.
That's good work. Was not Sajam. I've never seen Sajam dance. Never seen him dance.
That's so weird. I'm thinking about it. Like how good of a dancer would he be?
Sajam? I think there's a chance he might be a good dancer.
Right.
I think it's less likely than that he's not a good dancer, but I would not be surprised if he could dance well.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, look, like most people were not dancing for sure, but there was definitely like a pit kind of layout in this after party. You're taking it forever, by the way.
Dude, I don't know the hell. I don't know why it's not here anywhere. Oh, because it wasn't on my... But I'm at least happy that people were dancing. It wasn't on my...
Because time was...
Okay.
There were dance parties for the FGC. Like, I went to Youmacon one year, and there's a rave there. And it's nothing but the nerdiest of nerds. Definitely including us.
Okay.
And yet, FGC people didn't want to go dance. Ricky and Justin were, like, hanging out, and they would not go over to the dance area.
Right.
And Ski Sonic and I were like... Come on, guys. Like, everybody's terrible here. Dude, don't worry about it. Let's just go. And so we started walking, and it's kind of walk where you hope the person's behind you, but you don't know.
Right.
And they're just trying to, like, set the example, and hopefully they're following. And you get to the station where you're going to dance, and we were, like, kind of in the middle there, and it turned around, and sure enough, it was just me and Ski Sonic. They were all just back in the entrance. We had walked like probably 100 feet.
Oh man!
And we totally left.
I mean, there was the one time, long time.
But we danced. Christian and I danced.
I think it was like went karaoke once with back a long time ago with like Justin and Flo and Cecily and Sumi, and it was myself. And we went to karaoke, and literally there was only two of us singing the entire time.
That's gross. I mean, I'm terrible at singing, but come on, just sing. Who cares?
But yeah, Oneda points out that next month there's going to be it's at Next Level. There's going to actually be a virtual fighter tournament coming up there. So that's definitely really cool. And if you're in New York area and you like virtual fighter, definitely check that out. So there you go. That's what it was.
All right.
But also next week is going to be GOML 2017, Get on My Level.
Oh, that's cool.
Also Defend the North in
New
York. And then Abu Get Cup is also that weekend as well. So a lot of good stuff coming up.
Awesome, man.
Good stuff coming up. So there you go. Other FGC news.
Too Old, Too Furious this weekend.
Which one?
Too Old, Too Furious.
Oh, yeah. Too Old, Too Furious is also
Did you mention
on
that?
Friday. Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't mention it.
So here's a bit of note. Min told me that Kusumondo is coming.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I heard about that.
Do you know why he's coming?
No.
His son is studying abroad in New York.
That's so cool.
I mean, he has an adult-age son is the point. Okay?
Yeah.
His adult-age son is studying abroad in New York. So he's going to visit his son. And while he's going to do it, he's going to go play Super Turbo. What a future we live in. What a future.
And he's gonna body everybody.
Oh yeah,
Dad is gonna body.
Yeah, can you imagine like his son like doesn't want to go play ST because that's like the old. It's like the boring. Fine. All right, I'll go. Fine.
God, it's all in like sprites. What is this garbage?
I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Okay. Other FGC news. I think we actually ended up covering it all because I talked about the new announcements of Piccolo and Krillin and all this other. The
famous gif of Justin Wong dancing on the intro to the Korean esports event, and it's the worst.
Yeah. Oh, and of course they announced Evo Japan.
It's tough to see.
That's right. They announced Evo Japan. They announced the dates. That's my bad. Yes, they announced that, and they also announced all the games that are going to be there, including Street Fighter V.
Did they?
Yes.
I don't remember.
Yeah, Street Fighter V was the last game they announced. Remember, at that Psy event, there was no Street Fighter V.
Yeah.
So they announced it, like, I think Gundam was going to be there. ARMS is going to be there.
Is there a trailer? I don't remember.
Yeah, there was a trailer.
Was it shown?
Yeah, it was shown on Sunday.
When?
I can't remember, but I remember Chris going, you guys want to see some Evo Japan news? Or Tragic said that, I think it was. It might have been right before Smash Man. It might have been when you guys went to go grab dinner or something like that. But, yeah, they announced it. But Street Fighter V was indeed one of the games there. There was no Gundam. Oh, okay, no Gundam.
Yeah?
But Smash 4 was definitely there. It was before Street Fighter V Top 8.
Oh, okay. Well, I was there.
It's going to be January 26th through 28th. And Street Fighter V was confirmed, I remember, because for the longest of time, there was no Street Fighter V at Psy, and so some people were wondering about that.
So is that the trailer for Evo Japan?
Looks like it. Should I play it and
Sure.
hope that we don't get any sort of copyright
infringement
or something? You know, 'cause that's how it rolls around.
It does
here.
seem like it. Well, we probably already get busted for Ecuador and whatever that
Those are during the break, though, so I'm gonna cut those out, right? So, all right. So let's get this trailer rolling here, shall we?
Yeah. Bam.
There we go. The biggest fighting game back again in Japan.
Again. That's okay. Here are some Americans. There you go. Oh, in January.
Yep, January. But I think we knew that already, so... Oh my god, the next video was me of me crying.
That's fine. Wait, just go to it. I just want to see how many views it has.
You know, you can't...
119,000!
I think I'm gonna cry again, dude.
It has 119,000 views. And it's just some dude. It's just some dude uploading it. That's probably not the only one. There's probably way more than that. And who knows how many views they have. Oh, that is so funny.
James, if you're seeing this, I hope you know how much it means to all of us to have you as an ambassador and voice for this sport. Your passion becomes our passion. Incredible, inspirational stuff. What an absolutely incredible Evo. Thank you and the team so much.
Well, that's very nice of Gilbert to say.
Yes. Thank you, Gilbert. Thank you.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go up to the search window and type in James Chen crying.
God.
I just want to see, you know.
Why are you doing this?
Wait, hold on. Wait, go back to C. Oh, okay, James Chen Space. It's the second. Oh my god, it's actually the second result.
No, third result. Third result. Kills an FGC member is first. That's me flipping the table on a baby. Second one is table flip, which is the other table flips, and then crying is the third one.
It's right there. Okay, click on it. We need to see this.
James
I gotta
crying.
see. I gotta see what the numbers are.
Okay, hang on a second.
I gotta see what the numbers are. All right. All right. We got 119. We got 100. Oh, that was not the same.
Well, the first one is the one that was from a while ago.
Yeah, but that only has 2,000 views.
Yeah, that one only has 2,000 views.
We got 21,000.
But then this one is the
Bam!
one that we saw 119. It's got to have been inflated somehow.
I don't know, man. I think a lot of people have seen you cry.
Yeah.
117,000 people have seen you go berserk.
Yes, which is, yeah, okay. And then My Cross-Bodied by James Chen.
There was one time you told a funny story.
That was a long time ago. That one was actually really popular.
7 years ago, say.
Yeah, and then this, the
James
sound
Chen,
effects.
Ah, that's right.
That's right.
None of these are you crying.
Yeah.
Well, all right. At least one of them has
There's the
119,000.
table right there. The James Chen table flip. Some more Chen tears. This is Ernesto Lopez's video here.
Ah, yes. That was a good one.
And this was filmed of me back in 1983. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what that is. So there you go. Okay. Anyways.
All right. Anyway. Well, that was funny.
Yes, I think I've covered all the news.
Okay, cool. What else is going on then?
I don't know. It's almost 11, so I don't know.
Almost 11. Man, I got a flight to San Francisco tomorrow.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
My brother's getting married. It's a whole hassle.
Are you
It'll
a
be cool.
groomsman or a best man?
Best man. My other brother and I are co-best men.
Nice. So you're both giving speeches?
We're going to give a simultaneous speech.
Nice.
It's going to be hilarious.
Cool. How many best man speeches have you given?
Precisely none.
So this will be your first time.
That's the progression of things.
Let me think about this here. Trying to think how many best man speeches I've given, which is actually an indication of what an awesome dude I am.
You must be the greatest.
I know I've given 3 at least so far. Well,
that's not
3.
such a high number.
Yeah, it's not a huge number, but it's not something that you get to do a lot of.
No, I've never done
You
it.
never get to do a lot.
I've lived all these many years and not yet done it.
Yeah.
Up in the old north. Yeah, that'll be cool. And then I started playing Hearthstone again because I deleted WoW. I don't really feel like I came out far ahead on that trade.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say, isn't that just as bad?
But that's what I'm doing right now, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh yeah, that's true. Unio ST came out in Asia today,
right?
So you can buy it if you can get the Hong Kong version and stuff like this, which I might actually try to set up here right now after you take off. I might try to download that just so I can mess with some Unio ST.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, because I already have a Hong Kong account. I'm pretty sure, so I'll see what I can do with that. So
I think ARMS is not a good game.
Well, you didn't. The controls were really wonky for you.
I hate the controls. That is true. But on top of that, I don't feel like there's a reward for getting a hit. You deal damage, but it's not like there's like a meaty situation.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's only the neutral game,
Uh-huh.
and there's like a big. There's a significant downside to throwing a punch, which is that now you're open. And the reward for landing a punch is, not that great. It seems like a bad game to me. It's probably fun as just, a screwing around game.
Right.
But they're trying to esports it, and
right.
I just don't think that is...
Right.
Nope.
Yeah, I haven't played much of it, to be honest with you, so I haven't really had the opportunity to play a bunch of it, but, dude, I haven't been streaming this week at all. I'm not going to be able to start streaming even tomorrow, even though I want to play some more Tekken, but next week I'll be back on the grind of everything again. I'll be streaming Injustice on Monday, and see if I can do some of the cool things that you were showing me.
Meaty Jump Back 2 with Catwoman.
Yeah, meaty jump back to dude. He was even doing the wall bounce, run under, jump backwards, kick, and
Jump
like
one.
do
Yeah, that was cool.
there's some crazy combos there. I didn't even know about like the forward 3, back 3 cancels that cost 2 meters and stuff.
Bounce
like
cancel.
that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, all that stuff. So, but a lot of stuff happening. So, ESL Brawlers, I guess, is starting.
Yeah,
I think it was earlier today, right? On the Disney.
Yeah, on Disney.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see it. So
I don't have television.
yeah.
This was from 2012. Each year, I don't know if they still do this. Each year there's an Evo jersey.
Yeah, you get them from gaming generations now.
Really?
You just buy an Evo jersey. It might be they might use the same ones multiple years in a row now and stuff like that. So,
every year there used to be different.
Yeah.
So I have this one, and I have I have 2 jerseys, like hockey
what
jerseys.
was the Brawlers format though? Was it also
didn't
like a
watch
tournament, with commentators? I'm not even
I
sure.
don't have television.
Yeah, okay. I'll have to go see if I can find a VOD of it or something like that. So, okay. Anyways, yeah, that's all I got. So, you have anything else? It's already 11 o'clock. So,
I still gotta pack, and I don't know. What do I gotta do? Maybe some law. We'll see.
okay.
Oh, it's on the Disney website as well? Okay, I'll check it out then.
Yeah, I'll check it out as well. Cool.
Cool.
Okay, Evo, great stuff.
Good stuff.
Fighting games
Great
is
stuff.
something so great. And hope you guys enjoy Evo. I know I did. I had a blast. I thought it was an amazing event. So
Same. We'll be back next Tuesday with the regular schedule. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we should be.
On Tuesday this week, I went to go see Beethoven's Ninth Symphony at the Hollywood Bowl.
What? Okay. I was still in Vegas. Actually, no, I flew home so we could do ESL. Then I flew back to Vegas and hung out there for a while. And then I flew home afterwards, That was basically how it went.
I didn't like it that much.
Beethoven's Ninth Symphony? Really?
I was underwhelmed. I mean, the Ode to Joy section,
Right, yeah.
I heard it. It's good. But the previous 3 movements, here's the thing. It's like, I know it's great. So my significant other majored in music. Yeah, that's right. I got one. Majored in music. And she, gets the whole language of music, what it means and so forth. So I feel like I'm watching some nice, maybe the best foreign film. But it's not in a language that I understand. It's I see, okay, looks technically good, cool, chase scene in there, I don't know. But when they're talking to each other, I'm asleep. And maybe it's great, but it's I don't know.
Plebeian.
I know! The whole time I was just I thought the rest of this would be really good.
I was so mad at that concert when you were telling me this. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's right. Nice.
But, no, on Monday, me and my best friends did our tradition there, which is a weird tradition now, where, so my friend, he's just stupid baller status now, right? He's never been, for the longest of time, in fact, when I had a job, and he was still going to school, I would, treat him to a lot of things like that.
The tables have turned, eh?
Yeah, the tables have turned, but, last year, if you remember, I got to do that racing thing where I got to drive an Aston Martin on the track, right, and all that stuff like that. He really wanted to go back again this year, so me and my best friends went back again this year, and he treated me again. This time I drove a Lamborghini.
Dang, how was that?
That was, seriously, there's the straightaways where the guy is just is 60% gas pedal, 70, 80, 90, 100, floor it. And you just start flooring it, and seriously, it feels like you're taking off in a jet engine. I am not even kidding.
I believe it.
It is just dude, it's nothing. You end it, and you walk out, and you're just so winded because of how crazy it is. It was pretty intense. It was a Lamborghini Adventera or Aventera something or other like that. But
I don't know, man.
That thing was pretty nuts. And then we went to the Pinball Hall of Fame Museum again. Cool. We played there, and then on that circus 3-leveled pinball machine, I actually got to the top level and didn't quite beat it. But Aventador, that's what it is. Yes, Aventador. And then we all went to the Wicked Spoon afterwards. And then that's the buffet in the Cosmopolitan. That's super good. Then the next day, one of my friends went early flight. Me and my other friend went to go watch some Spider-Man before we went to
I gotta see that.
Before we went to the airport. We still had a little time left. We stopped by the GameWorks there, and Romance works there. So I got to say hi to Romance over there. I was just standing there. My friend was playing. We had just played some DDR, and Romance walks up to us. He's like, "You want anything to drink?" And I was like, "Oh." He's like, "I'll get you something." I was like, "Okay." So he brought me a Coke and brought my friend water. Yeah,
that's a nice.
It's really cool.
He's a good guy.
It was super cool to see him there, dude. I was super happy to see him there, asking him how life was in Vegas now and everything like that. So
nice.
It's very cool.
All right.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah, Wicked Spoon is pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean, look, I love Lamborghinis because I grew up with Transformers. So I know the Lamborghini Countach, which was what Sideswipe was, and I've always been a fan of that car. So
I know the Lamborghini Murcielago.
Oh, I don't know that.
I don't know why I know that at all. I have no idea. On the bus ride home, I watched Robocop 2.
Oh, God, why?
I don't really recall. So I was just like watching YouTube, and I randomly...
No, seriously, why?
Here's why. I recall now. So I was on Reddit, and I'm subscribed to a subreddit that's documentaries. And one of the documentaries was like, here's an upcoming documentary on Robocop.
Oh, yeah. Robodoc.
Which sounds cool. So I watched the trailer for it, and it was talking about Robocop. So I looked on Netflix and Hulu and stuff to see hey, maybe I can watch Robocop, right? On the bus, because, I've got 5 hours to kill. Robocop was not available for streaming, but Robocop 2 was available for streaming. That movie's pretty messed up, James.
That movie sucks.
I don't think it sucks.
Look, everyone thinks Robocop 3 sucks. Robocop 3 definitely sucks.
I don't think Robocop 2 sucks.
But 2 sucks.
I don't think it sucks.
Oh, God.
I just think it's crazy. It's crazier than I recall.
Violent and all.
Very dark and violent. And
it's Frank Miller.
I know.
Right? So,
but yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Dude, Robocop 2,
the robots are committing suicide. I mean, it was pretty
Robocop
wild,
2 sucks.
It doesn't suck.
It sucks.
I just saw it. I don't think it sucks.
Robocop 1. Okay, so my brother, movie critic, right? He loves movies to death. His favorite movie of all time. It's Robocop 1.
Okay, it's a good movie.
And
that seems very silly, but it's a good
Robocop
movie.
2, is one of his most hated movies.
I don't understand.
It's so shitty.
Why?
Because it does not contain any of the themes of Robocop 1.
No, it's a very different movie.
Yeah, and they just didn't understand what Robocop was at all.
See, I thought that was...
They went over the top with it.
Definitely over the top.
They went over the top. They didn't understand what the humor was. They thought Robocop 1 was funny just by throwing these random commercials in it. So they're like, let's throw in our own random funny commercials. And it didn't work. And it was violent. The first movie was violent for a reason. This one was violent just to be glorified. Oh, Robocop 2 is
I don't know, man.
Garbage.
I don't know. One is pretty gratuitous at times.
Dude, Robocop 1 is...
That dude got murdered.
Right, but that's what makes it that much more cathartic when he kicks their ass at the end and turns them into the toxic waste monster and stabs him in the neck with the Sayonara, Robocop.
I mean, it's good. It's good.
Dude, Robocop 1 is so good.
I like Robocop 1 a lot. I'm not saying 2 is better. I'm just saying that I think 2 is also good, just in a very different way. It was a very dark parody. There was all these things about capitalism and the gross 1980s businesses and social commentary. Right? Corporate raiders raiding a city. Is it even constitutional, James? I think it's interesting on that respect. But of course, I like one more.
Get out.
Was good.
Get out. No,
That was good. No, Back to the Future 3 is not my favorite Back to the Future. Jeez.
I like all the Back to the
I think
Futures.
it's good as well.
I like all the Back.
I don't dislike 3, but clearly 1 and 2 are better.
Yeah. I would agree. So I buy that for. I mean, the only reason why they did 3 was because Steven Spielberg always wanted to make a Western. So he just kind of used that as an excuse to make a Western.
I think you mean Back to the Future 3.
What did I say?
Robocop.
Yeah, Back to the Future 3.
I thought you were trying to make some joke at first. It was such a bad movie that it might have,
No. Yeah, the first one is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It's really interesting, too, because someone says that, like, Biff Tannen made the second Back to the Future 2. What someone actually pointed out, which is really interesting, is that the first movie is about Marty McFly, the second movie is about Biff Tannen, the third movie is about Doc Brown. And it actually fleshes them all out. Even in Back to the Future 2 is where you see his mom yelling at him and stuff like that, and everything. So it's actually kind of interesting how that worked out,
That's a good point.
And then, of course, Back to the Future 2 is also, weirdly, now a very strong predictor of the current times.
Yeah, it was even absurd back in the early 1990s that Donald Trump would become president. Everybody knew it was absurd then. And it hasn't gotten less absurd. It got more absurd after that. But here he is.
But I did like all the
looking into whether he can pardon himself.
I did like all the Back to the Futures, so I thought they were all very good.
I heard the news that he was looking into the legalities of pardoning his aides and family members and himself.
Who?
Donald Trump.
To pardon himself?
Yeah. And when I heard that in the car, I literally did the Michael Scott from The Office No series.
I don't...
You know the famous gif where he's just like, no! God, no! Please, God, no! I literally did that in the car. Because it's so wild, and here we are. I don't know what to do about it anymore. All right, we should get out of here.
Okay, cool. Anyways, thanks, guys, for tuning in. We'll be back on Tuesday at regular time next week. Peace out, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, wait.
Bird, tweet.
We haven't forgot. I should have this ready to go every time, and I don't.
President's pardon power is very broad. He can indeed pardon, well, probably anybody. It's never been tested. Can he pardon himself? I don't know. Is that contemplated in the pardoning power? Maybe.
Doesn't matter. What matters is...
Ah, Birdie, sing to me.
Now I can do the Abigail dance.
That's right, yeah.